Yo. Today is the day. I'm late apparently. What's up, chat? What is up, chat? Will this come up? Chat come up? It should come up on my left there. Yo. Yo. Today is the day, guys. Oh, we'll talk about some stuff. What the fuck? Yo, what's up, chat? What's up? Chat, is this real? China leaked it. It's $5.99. Hey, chat did come up. Can I make that bigger? Wait 1 second. Bigger font. Will be bigger. Hey, okay. That's pretty good. Chat's working. Hey, what's up? You guys are on the screen. We do get an AI counter today. Okay. So today we shall be doing the RDNA countdown, which the event starts in. Maybe I should make chat a little bit smaller over here. RDNA 4 announcement. There it is. There you go. Yeah. How are you guys? I'm so excited for this. I've been waiting so long. They faked this out, bro. They faked this out in January, and I was just so upset. I was so depressed that day. And then Nvidia pulled out some bullshit the same day. But I still don't know if it's gonna be good. I'm just excited to see what the fuck is happening. It's amazing. Also, how's the audio? Can you guys hear music? You should be able to hear it, I think. Let me know. Let me know. Hey yo, why can't I subscribe? Have you tried hitting the subscribe button? Audio good? Audio good? So I don't stream enough, so inconsistent AF. Okay, awesome. Good to hear. Okay, so do I have the timer right? Is that timer right? So here's the announcement. Okay, there's actually a lot. There's a lot of people in the chat right now, or waiting for the stream. That's 21,000. That's a lot just for waiting. It's still 30 minutes out, so we'll see how much that gets up there. Like, holy shit. But is this correct? So it's supposed to start at it's starting at 7:46. What the fuck? What is that time? When's the 5090 giveaway? I can't afford that. Why no subscribe button? I don't know. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm disappointed. Okay, well, let's check out the lead. So what does it mean by 7:46? It's such a random time. Is that what it's actually going to be? 15 minutes of ads. Oh man, they're going to screw us over. Well, I did see that there was some leaks. I didn't really look at them. Obviously, you guys probably saw this video when I went over this. And I have these. So we kind of have an idea of the performance of this. So 1 second, let me pull up some pictures. You feel me? Here is the big boy. Yeah. You guys saw this video, right? This is the kind of performance we should be expecting. Yeah, I think I had that timer wrong. Okay, let me change this timer really quick. So we have until 7:46. It is currently... Okay, let's put on a timer for 10 minutes. I think that'll work. I'm on Eastern time. I don't know about you guys. What time are you on? That should be good now. Correct? Correct. It's a little bit cut off. PST? Dude, if you're up at Pacific time, oh my god. I'm glad I don't live on West Coast for this shit. That would be terrible. Must be miserable. Who was up that early? I woke up at 6 o'clock today, and that was a little early for me. PTSD time? True. Yeah, but you guys saw this video, right? So, we're expecting over the 7900 GRE, which was a $550 GPU, that it'll be the 9070 to be about 18% faster in raster, 26% faster in ray tracing, and then we want the 9070 XT 35% faster in raster, and then 52% faster in ray tracing. So big ray tracing uplifts here. Should help. Should ease the burden of an AMD GPU, because that's a lot of it. So what does AMD really need to tackle? They need to get the price right, because NVIDIA's had really, really bad pricing. Really bad. They also need to get their supply right, so that people can actually buy the GPUs. And something about the price too. They just need to take the hit. You guys agree with that? Like, they just need to take the hit on the price. And they need to make it cheap. Even if that means putting an MSRP down way low, and even though if the GPUs, you know, maybe the supply is really bad, and they do end up going up a little bit in price, at least the price will be lower than the NVIDIA ones significantly. So it should be like a very low MSRP, because they need to just absolutely make this insane appeal. Make everybody just fall over and just buy AMD GPUs, because it needs to be like they don't have like grace anymore. It's been too long that AMD's had a very significant competition, so they really need to attack. What? They won't. But I am so ready for AMD to fuck this up. I am so ready. They have before. They have before. So what is the leaks looking at here? So there was apparently a leak from China. Yeah, I think this is what people are talking about. Where the 9070X, okay. So they got another leak here. This looks like this would be the press slide, and this is from China. So it confirms further 42% faster than the 7900 GRE. I think it's honestly weird, and they better compare it to NVIDIA GPUs, because this is odd to me. They need to compare it to NVIDIA. If they're comparing it to a 7900 GRE, who, like, maybe 10 people. 10 people bought a GRE? Like, come on. We need a more popular GPU to compare it to. And I don't think the 7900 GRE is the right one. But it might mean they're comparing it on price. And the GRE was a $550 GPU. So we could maybe see this at 9070 XT at $550. Now we can see the leak too. This is apparently a leak from China in the expectation of what the price will be. So they announced the price right here, it looks like. And they did the conversions on videocards.com here, where the 9070 XT is $599 and the 9070 is $550. If that's true, that's so close. That's a mistake. $50 difference. Like, it wouldn't be surprising to me if AMD messes this up. So that's not really that good. 550, I mean, it's okay. It matches the 5070. And it would have more VRAM, and it would probably beat it, but it's not going to beat it by that much. Also, it looks like they have Founders Edition cards. I didn't know that. That's interesting. They'd rendered these out before, but there was a leak that said they might not have them. So, okay, that'll be interesting. AMD got a fumble, maybe. I think the XT needs to be like 550. Because that's the thing. These are translated to US pricing, and we don't really know how close it's going to be. Now, the 5070 Ti, as they're saying here, I guess you can compare it to the ones that are available in China. And that one is like 26% more expensive than the 9070 XT. And in terms of the performance that we've seen, I showed this here. We got it. Yeah, so this picture. So in terms of the leaks that we've seen so far, the 9070 XT should perform a little bit, like, at least close to or on par with a 5070 Ti. So if the 5070 Ti is 26% more expensive in China, then that could be a good deal. But I don't think that's enough still. You look like Russo from The Punisher. You know, I watched The Punisher, but I don't remember that. Thanks, though. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, this is where the performance I think it's going to end up sitting up to, and that's based off the 7900 GRE performance that we got. That's all the percentages that we saw here translated into this, and that's what we're getting. If it performs like that, I don't think 600 is enough, personally, but this is where I think AMD might mess up. You know, thanks Cryon for 5 pounds. I think it's 5 pounds. Check Sapphire's card has a TDP of 330 watts and it comes with a 12 volt. Oh, I did hear about, yeah, some of these are apparently coming with 12 volt 2x6, which is interesting, but I don't really want them to do that personally. But I don't think this is enough. The thing is, though, and AMD might be compensating for this, like, oh, NVIDIA cards are out of stock and stuff, so they're priced really high, so their cards would be competitive if they're at MSRP. But I think they should really make a competitive MSRP price, and then make a competitive MSRP price, and then go ahead and just let the market decide how much they cost. I think that's what they should do. Maybe I'm crazy, but yeah, 600 is gonna be, according to this leak, that's not that crazy. Prepared to possibly be disappointed, guys. MSRP and shelf price might be different plus the scalpers. We'll see. We'll see. They're still not on right now. There's a countdown for about 3 minutes. Yeah, we'll check in when that comes in. I'm very prepared to be disappointed. So we go and take a poll. What do you guys think it's going to cost? Because it could be different than what this leak is. This is China, and then there's America. Actually, it might cost more in America because of like tariffs and stuff. But let's go and do a poll. What the heck do you guys think it's going to cost? What should we put up? So let's do 9070 XT. I think it's gonna, let's say 700 plus. It's what do you think it's gonna cost? Okay, not what it is. Like, or I'm confusing myself. What do you think it's gonna cost? Not what you want it to cost. All right. Let's say 600, which is what the leaked price is. And let's go ahead and say 550. And then we'll do one for 500. Not what you want it to cost, but what do you think it's going to cost? All right, go ahead and vote, guys. 600. Think it's going to line up with the leak. Yeah, it seems like that's the majority. I could also see them pricing it at $700 plus. That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. You think 650? It'll be 650. Yeah, I should have put that as an option. Damn. Yo, what's up, Mar? That's tough. Well, we have low expectations. Why wouldn't we? We've had so much good GPU news going on. It's been such an amazing time to buy a GPU. I mean, so how close will this be? Well, I'm just gonna ask you guys because I don't have time to make the poll. The presentation might start. How close do you think the price is gonna be on the 9070 and the 9070 XT? Because AMD has done this before, like with the 7800 XT and the 7700 XT. They price those $50 apart. They price the 7900 XTX at $1,000, and they price the 7900 XT at $900. So they've done it. And if they make this mistake again, actually they have to be stupid. They have to be stupid. It should be $100 difference, at least. Look how far apart NVIDIA gaps are on their pricing. Wait, what did you do? Like, does AMD not send press versions to let you benchmark? Bro, I don't have or know anything. In fact, actually, this is the first time I'm gonna be talking to AMD during a launch. But I don't know anything. Yeah, get your jugs out, boys. It's jug time. Glad I just woke up. Man, why did they do this so early? This gives me a little bit of a red flag too. Why is their presentation so early? Because it's almost like they're trying to hide it. It's a banger song. Jugs really, God. Cause China time, but they already did the China presentation, didn't they? Isn't that already done? That's what the leaks were. They're from China, right? Isn't this China? Am I stupid? Am I uncultured? Is this not China? It's 1 o'clock. EU, it's... Oh my god, why are you using military time? Ew. Ew. 1346 and... Ew. Oh my god, they're doing a 15-minute countdown. Liars. Goddamn liars. Fuck. These bitches. God damn it. That's crazy. Should have saw that coming. Okay, so we get to look at another 14 minutes. Yeah, we got huge jebaited. We can do a vote on the yeah, we can do another poll. Yeah, who donated? Thanks, Bobby B. I'm in a new PC build. I have a 4060 purchased as afterthought. How better will this AMD GPU be compared to that? It's gonna be a ton better. A ton. Massive. Like based on the performance we've seen, the 4060 is down here with a 3070. This will literally be orders of magnitude faster than that GPU, but it will be quite a bit more expensive. So it's still a great value. It seems like it might be twice the price of a 4060 though, from what we're seeing. So I don't think like, if that's your budget, you made a fine purchase. Okay, there isn't really any good options right now at like $300. Let's go and do another poll. All right, boys. Poll. So what do we think the I'm gonna turn down the music again a little bit. Okay. What do we think the 9070, so the non-XT one, the less expensive one? So you guys said the 9070 XT was probably gonna cost $600. So let's see. I'll put up the same thing. I mean, well, let's do 650 as the max price maybe, and then we'll do like 600, and then we'll do. Can we do 4? Can we do 5 options actually? 550. So this one would compete directly with the 5070. The 5070 is $550. It's supposed to be. We'll see if it ends up like that. And then we'll see maybe 500. I can only do 4 options. So maybe we take out the 650. And then we'll make the bottom one 450. That's what I would want it to cost. If you guys saw my latest video about AMD stuff, I want the 9070 to cost 450, but I don't know if they will. It doesn't matter what I want. It matters what they're gonna do. All right, so go ahead and vote, guys. What do you think it's gonna cost? What is it gonna cost? Not what you want it to cost. 500. So it's pretty close between 500, 550. 450, it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. It doesn't seem like it. Maybe 550, maybe 500. I see it. Okay. 500 coping. I mean, it could cost 500. It'd be crazy. Still rocking the 570. Damn. Thanks, bro. It wouldn't surprise me if AMD does something real stupid. But it'd also be crazy if they didn't learn their lesson. Like, they priced the 7700 XT so close to 7800 XT, and that GPU failed. The 7700 XT was stupid. It was a bad purchase for like 6 months until the price came down. Also, by the way, we have entered cat. So we're saying We're saying that's the vote. Okay. So we're saying mostly 500, 550. It's pretty torn. Okay. Also, Cat has entered the picture. Cat. She's here. She has joined us. My God. All right. I don't think we have exactly the highest hopes, but honestly, we've been burned so many times. We're like abused. We're like Overwatch players at this point. But we keep coming back for more. WCat. For sure, for sure. Let me make sure. Okay. Let me set a new timer. So we should be able to reset it. Countdown. Hey, we're a second ahead. Second ahead, guys. The purring. How loud is the purring? She is purring pretty loud. Can you guys hear that? So do we get any more leaks on this then? You can hear it? Loud. No, you can't hear it. Some people can. Yeah, she's very needy. What else we got going on? Do a poll on what it should cost in order for AMD to take market share. Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I agree. Took me a second to register what you just said. Let's do another poll. Okay, so for the 9070 XT, now, Preston said, Vex, why do you think 550 is game-changing? 600 isn't for the 9070 XT. Well, the reason why 550 is game-changing is because the 5070 is going to cost 550. Now, this can go head-to-head with the 5070 and actually have performance on the same level as possibly a 5070 Ti from what these leaked performance things have already shown, which this is what we've been expecting for a while, so this wouldn't surprise me. It actually might perform a little bit better than this. We don't know. But if it could perform like that and be NVIDIA's next tier card, it has more VRAM than the 5070, and if the FSR4 and ray tracing performance is improved pretty significantly, then we're going to see something pretty good if it has 550. Now 600, I don't think they should not match NVIDIA pricing. That'd be stupid at this point in time. Oh, sorry, Spooky. I know. You can't walk in front of the monitor. I can't see shit. But that's why I say that. All right. Did I miss another dono? I did. I think the GPU market would be saved by Qualcomm, China, ARM, or even Apple. Apple, I don't see them breaking into gaming now. But we'll see, I guess. They've been trying to. And then ARM, NVIDIA might get into ARM, and that's where things could actually like change. All right. But I don't know what China would do. I don't think they really have many chips going on right now. Qualcomm, I think they have more chance in laptops, if anything. Okay, let's go and do this poll. So what do we think the 9070 XT would cost to be, like, this is what everybody's going to buy. Like, it would be stupid not to buy this GPU. But what also might be reasonable for them to do as well. So if they wanted to, if AMD wants to get some market share here, which they have said they wanted to get some market share. So let's say maybe 650 at the top end, 600 here. Again, this is USD. Sorry, everybody else in the world. Freedom units. So 550. I mean, the obvious choice would be like, if they really wanted market share, they should do the lowest price. But what would be reasonable? What do you guys think what they could do? Might be asking a lot. Spooky, stop. You're good. You're okay. You hear me, Alan? 550? Okay. Because that's the thing. On the 550 price, I'm not sure how much of this is like parroting, you know, what Hardware Unboxed said and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I think it's good. I think they should match NVIDIA's card. But what I think is hilarious is AMD just changed this. So you guys are saying 550 at the peak, 600 would still be competitive. Some of you guys are saying. I mean, if it competes with the 5070 Ti, then maybe it would be okay. We'll see. But I think if they want to be obvious pick, they need to be a little bit lower. Vex, do you think AMD will bring FSR4 at least to older gen RDNA cards, kind of like Intel with XeSS, maybe a fallback software solution. I think the FSR fallback will just be the old version of FSR, which sucks, but it won't use AI. That's what I would think. So I don't see that. I think it could maybe come to RDNA 3. It depends how lightweight their model is. I'm not 100% sure. Because RDNA 3 does have some AI performance, so we could see something like that. But yeah, FSR 4 is going to be really important for these cards. I don't think it's the top 3. As I said in my latest videos, like they need to get their supply right, they need to get their price right, and they need to get their performance right. Those are the big 3, and then like the price needs to be aggressive. But then FSR 4 is important too, because people don't want to live with a card that is just like kind of shit compared to what NVIDIA image quality looks like. It says, super excited for the future of APUs. Actually, me too. I'm about to make a video on APUs because Framework just released a thing with the Strix Halo chips, which is like a massive APU that has 40 compute units, and just out of the box, it can perform on the level of like a 3060, I'm pretty sure, in terms of its performance. And that's really aggressive. So it depends on what the price can be, and also you can configure it to have a ton of RAM on it, including VRAM. I think that it's actually really good. John Smith. The 7900 XTX has more ray accelerators than the 9070 XT. So how can the 9070 be better on ray tracing? It's because the ray tracing is significantly improved per core, per efficiency. It isn't just bigger number better. All right. And it's because I'm wondering, can I find something on this? AMD redesigns ray. Where was this? There was a thing. This isn't a leak. They had a press slide. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they had a press slide that literally detailed. Oh, it was on the PS5 Pro. That's what it is. So the PS5 Pro is actually based off of like a primitive version of RDNA 4. So RDNA 4 is the new generation GPUs. Man, I'm missing Dono. Sorry, guys. Joe, I don't know how to pronounce your name. For some like me, if no H.264 improvements, it's no sale at any price. Apparently they have improved some. Okay. They said that they did. Let me show you that as well, if I can find the screenshot real quick. If there's two things here. We don't know how much AMD's improved there. It's gonna be like ADHD or something, man. Where is this screenshot? I don't know, but on one of their slides, AMD said that they improved the ray tracing performance. They completely redesigned the architecture for ray tracing for PS5 Pro, as well as the media engines. So the media engines should be more efficient, more on par with NVIDIA, I think. Or even Intel. Intel has amazing media engines for how new they are into the game of actual GPUs. I mean, on iGPUs, they've been really solid for media engines too, but that's the only reason I haven't really switched to AMD on my main desktop, because if I can encode video more efficiently on an NVIDIA graphics card, then I'm going to do that. It saves me storage space. So what I think is stupid though, is AMD changed their naming scheme, and they changed these specifically to match NVIDIA's competition at these price points, all right? So you'd think they would cost the same. So you'd think the 9070 is named the same as a 5070, and the 5070 is gonna be $550, apparently. Okay, so you would think the 9070 XT would compete against the 5070 Ti, but based off of even the leaked pricing right now, that's not what they're gonna cost. The 5070 Ti and the 9070 XT, those should be competing, is supposed to be $750. And AMD doesn't seem like they're gonna do that now. All right, I really hope they don't do that. But it seems like they changed their whole naming scheme and everything, and they already done fucked it up, guys. It's already messed up. They already jacked up the whole thing. So, competition-wise, in terms of performance, I don't know if they're targeting performance or if they're targeting price with this. Are they doing price? Then I hope it's not gonna be $750. That would be stupid. Now, the performance maybe would be more what we're thinking of, because the 5070 Ti, 9070 XT those are going to be neck and neck. So if they're trying to compete on performance and then drop the price, then maybe that would work too. But we'll see. Again, if a GPU is good enough, if a GPU is hands down good enough of a buy, people will just buy it despite the name and all that kind of stuff. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, Intel is a completely different naming scheme on the B580, but people still bought the B580 and they know it beats like a 4060. Thanks to, I don't know, Skel PC Games. Thanks, bro. In Australia, we're paying $1,000 for a 97 XT. That's sad, bro. I've seen some pricing in Australia. It has been rough for y'all. Guys, is it actually gonna start? Oh my god. Oh my god.
5 years, AMD has powered your best
gaming
moments, driving the industry forward with pure, unrelenting performance. From the early days of first-person shooters to the heart-pounding battles on the latest consoles,
too loud or too quiet?
like
How am
Xbox and PlayStation, and handhelds like Steam Deck, AMD was there, fueling your
I've been playing
victories.
Rivals. Rivals is fun.
Our commitment to the gaming community has always been strong. We advance adrenaline-fueled visual fidelity and push the limits with every generation.
Well, if it's
of
not
Radeon
consoles,
graphics,
AMD's gaming presence
from the
has been
earliest
basically
breakthroughs
non-existent.
to the most recent
You are
FSR
too
launch.
loud.
We've never stopped innovating.
Well, I'm excited for this one. Also, we have AI counter up there, so I'll try to keep track of it. Keep me accountable.
At
too.
AMD, gaming is at the core of our
Hopefully
DNA.
this won't be an AI
and
presentation.
the passion of the community is the fuel of our inspiration. PC gaming captivates millions of players worldwide and has become a dominant force in the entertainment industry. It's about community,
Guys, we like
creativity,
gamers.
and the ever-expanding
Give us your money.
possibilities that gaming technology brings to the table. Whether you're gaming on a desktop, laptop, handheld, or console, AMD has been at the center of some of the most iconic gaming devices. From the early Microsoft Xbox 360 up to the latest Xbox Series X.
Did they do the
PlayStation
360
4
chip?
to the new PlayStation 5 Pro. Or handheld gaming platforms like the Valve Steam Deck OLED, Asus ROG Ally, or Lenovo Legion Go. Even to the latest gaming PCs and laptops. AMD processors and graphics
More AI,
drive
please.
the heart of gaming. This year marks the 25th anniversary of Radeon Graphics, which began with the R100 architecture offering hardware transform and lighting capabilities in an industry-leading 30 million transistor design. Over the years, we've poured
doing
our
an
hearts and
NVIDIA
passion
presentation, like,
into
what the fuck?
shaping PC gaming and advancing the
our
realism,
origin story.
immersion, and performance of Radeon Graphics solutions. We've transformed the render pipeline from separate pixel and vertex shaders to unified programmable shader units, with many groundbreaking products along the journey.
Did they make
like the
programmable
much-loved Radeon 9700 Pro, to the first teraflop GPU with the HD 4800 series, to the Radeon R9 Fury
Why are
X,
they showing the
which was the
Fury?
first consumer graphics card with high bandwidth memory
The
technology.
first and the last.
In
Actually, no, it wasn't the
2019,
last one.
we introduced the advanced RDNA architecture with the RX 5700 XT, which has evolved to today's RDNA 3 RX 7000 designs, featuring hardware ray tracing and AI accelerators nearly 2,000 times more complex than our first Radeon GPU 25 years ago. Now, we're incredibly
so.
excited to share with you the next chapter in our Radeon journey.
All
We
right.
began with some ambitious goals with RDNA 4.
Who is this, by the way?
Starting with an architecture that
missed the name.
enables more players to access
Did you
enthusiast-level
say AI?
gaming experiences.
I missed it.
We focused on where gaming is going and built a significantly improved engine for ray tracing and machine learning technologies
Yeah, they
to
improved
meet the
ray
needs
tracing.
of games over the next several years. And
I'm not gonna
finally,
count
we were
machine learning as
laser-focused in every product decision to ensure that we deliver the best performance and capabilities that gamers want, while ensuring that we're accelerating our performance per dollar leadership. Today, we're going to take you through all the details of our next generation graphics products, starting with the RDNA 4 architecture, with innovations to deliver enthusiast gaming experiences. We'll also share the software
The app
innovations
session has
built for
commenced,
our
guys.
RDNA 4 products to enhance your gaming experience. And of course, we will dive deep into the Radeon RX 9000 series
graphics,
performance
baby.
that we know you're excited to learn more about. First, let's
I don't
hear
know how
from
in-depth
Andy,
this is gonna go.
our lead for advanced graphics architecture, to tell us more about the heart of this new RDNA 4 graphics family.
Thank you, Dave. It's great to
Andy
be here today to talk to you all about RDNA 4.
Okay.
There's a lot of exciting
That's a name.
details to get through, so let's get straight into it. At its core, the vision for RDNA has remained constant since we started in 2019. We always target the best possible performance that we can engineer
Advanced
for the workloads
rasterization.
that will be important
That's
to
what we want,
gamers
maybe.
in the life of the architecture. But behind that simple statement lies so much complexity. And as our architects sit down at the start of every new project, we have to navigate through all that we've learned and all that we see coming years into the future
I don't
to
know,
drive our innovation and the
They
areas of
tend
the
not
architecture
to look
that we will
forward,
focus on.
and they tend
From the Infinity
not
Cache,
to learn
high
their
frequency
lessons.
and
So I
ray tracing
disagree
that we
with
drove
that,
in
but
RDNA 2, to the
maybe
advanced
I'm
chiplet
crazy.
construction, matrix acceleration, and physical design of RDNA 3, we aim to bring the very best of AMD's
3 years
experience in
between those
computation, graphics, and advanced
paper.
construction techniques to bear on the
I
problem
miss
of
one?
engineering the best products for our gaming customers. Now, with RDNA 4, we are bringing the results of years of research and development to fruition, with the most powerful architecture we've ever designed for gaming graphics. We've targeted every step in the flow of rendering, from the front end, with an enhanced command processor to more quickly handle the commands from the application, through the core, where our updated compute units increase the efficiency of shading and double the performance of ray tracing and deliver even larger improvements in
double the
ML,
performance
to
of
the
ray
memory
tracing and path
interface,
tracing.
where we improved our efficiency and compression. Our aim was to make your games run faster and smoother than ever before. Going beyond this, we made sure to also elevate other aspects of the visual experience for our users, with updates to our AMD Radiance display and media
Save.
engines.
The MIDI
The
engines are
streaming
getting an update.
community
I don't
has
know how
asked
much
us
of
for
the better
encoding
be.
quality improvements for popular services
Or
like
if they'll just be
Twitch,
dropping
YouTube,
better,
and Discord.
too.
And RDNA 4 delivers major improvements across H.264, H.265,
There you go.
and AV1. When using
Better
our
for creators.
H.264 encoder at 6,000 kilobits per second, we are seeing up to 20% higher VMAF quality scores versus
Where
our
to start the
previous generation.
presentation with this?
I'm incredibly proud of what the team has achieved. So
This
let's
is the
take
online
some time
Nitro Plus
to dig in a
card.
bit further to what you as a gamer can expect from RDNA 4. Modern game rendering combines an ever-expanding set of tools to deliver worlds of incredible
Oh, God,
detail
that's
and
fine.
realism. Rasterization has advanced to the point where we can explore incredibly rich worlds with near unlimited geometric detail. And modern techniques allow fully real-time lighting, removing constraints in how dynamic or complex those worlds can be. AMD's philosophy is to embrace all of the techniques that graphics
they're
developers
glazing
may use
UE5 right
and
now.
build the best possible platform for them to deliver their vision to gamers. This can be seen in both our advanced RDNA 4 architecture and also our regular updates to our GPU Open website, where we post our latest research and development for everyone to use. Whether a game is using
GPU
fast
Open, where they
approximations
post
to global
info about
illumination, using
FSR.
compute shaders, or chooses to make
Yay.
use of our advanced ray tracing capabilities to go even further in quality. We have built RDNA 4 to adapt and deliver great performance.
Oh, these
The
AIs
new
count.
compute unit includes a
There's
number of
4
key
AIs here.
optimizations for shading compared to RDNA 3.
God.
Perhaps the largest improvement lies in a new architecture
Okay.
for handling memory requests, allowing
Alright,
work
but-
to flow more efficiently through the machine for the complex shading in modern games.
I don't know
We've
what this
enhanced
means.
the register storage in the
it
core
should be better,
with new
right, guys?
dynamic register allocation techniques, increasing efficiency. And we've added dedicated engines to accelerate
Basically just made
register block
everything better.
moves to make function calls faster for modern shading languages.
We
We have
have
also
squares now.
extended the instruction set of our scalar units, allowing our compiler to schedule more work on these units for better performance and
Better
lower
efficiency.
power. Taken
Yep,
together,
okay.
these changes make the compute
Okay,
units by
that's
far
what they're saying.
the most capable we've ever shipped in our consumer
That's what they
hardware.
said.
And the performance results that you will see with RDNA 4 hardware reflect that.
40%.
Beyond these broad performance improvements, we also focused heavily on
Against
enhancing
what,
our
though?
ray tracing architecture. We attacked this problem at all levels, not only making RDNA 4 able to trace more rays more quickly, but also
We love ray
creating
tracing
hardware
around
that
here.
operates more intelligently
cool.
to reduce the overall work. Of the many advanced RT features introduced in RDNA 4, I will call out one key area here that drives the efficiency of ray traversal, which is the representation of the world geometry. The data structure that contains this geometry is called the bounding volume hierarchy, or BVH. In RDNA 4, We've taken
They're
an
just saying
innovative
per
approach
efficiency,
to this
it's 40%
with a new
more
method for
efficient.
organizing that data that we call oriented bounding boxes. And we also developed
Okay,
better
this is a
compression for the
redesign
data
of ray
itself.
tracing.
And these changes deliver much more efficient ray traversal through the geometry, and with a lower memory cost, making better use of capacity and bandwidth. Within the ray accelerator, we've added a second intersection engine, which doubles the performance for both ray box and ray triangle testing. And based on our analysis of ray
Because
tracing
AMD's
workloads,
older
we also
version of ray
created
tracing
a
was
dedicated ray
really,
transform block, which
primitive.
increases
It
the
was like a
performance
hack
of the
job.
hardware as rays are traversed into the lower levels of the BVH. With our updated ray accelerators, you will see a transformational change in the efficiency of ray tracing, making great performance available to more gamers at compelling price points and delivering twice the ray tracing performance of RDNA 3.
Imagine playing this
per
game with
compute unit,
RT on.
enabling smooth gaming experiences even with complex
even
ray
worse.
tracing effects. Now, let's take a look at our architectural advances for ML, as the impact of these
God, here comes
technologies are being
AIs.
felt everywhere, with exciting announcements
Except for
and new
FSR 4, that'd be
advances
cool.
turning up on an almost daily basis. Just recently, we revealed a partnership with Sony Interactive Entertainment called Project Amethyst, where we've been collaborating for over a year now on research into ML model architectures for graphics enhancements.
Still doesn't say
And I'm
that,
happy to say we're already seeing results. Using RDNA 4's second generation of advanced AI accelerators,
there it
our
is.
users will be able to exploit all of the benefits of these new technologies for gaming, content creation, or any of the other emerging areas that are appearing. RDNA
Guys, can I
4
get
is
some,
able to
get some
efficiently
Ws for
process
AI in
new
chat?
advanced AI models much faster than was possible with previous generations of hardware. Whether an AI model requires high precision with 16-bit floating point, or ultra-high performance with lower precision such as 8-bit or even 4-bit, by adding more
Why does-
dedicated math pipelines
why
and
are there so many
support for
Ls?
techniques such as
We
structured
love AI.
sparsity, we have increased the peak performance per compute unit by as much as 8x compared to RDNA 3. These improvements open a world of
cool.
new possibilities for users of RDNA 4. And we're working now to bring technologies into games and other applications
Can you say it
using
again?
these
I think you might have said it
capabilities.
one more time.
So, the performance is great, but what can RDNA 4 really do? 20 years ago, we released a demonstration that showed the capabilities of our newest Radeon graphics when using Microsoft's DirectX 9 graphics API. This demo was called the Toy Shop, and I hope that back then it helped to open people's eyes
Okay.
to the kind of graphics that were now
DirectX
possible
9.
with advanced programmable shading. Now, as we
In the
enter a
good old
new
days.
era of path-traced visuals combined with ML, we wanted to call back to this a little bit. So I would like to present the latest work of our graphics research
We're
teams
going?
being shown
We're
here for
going?
the first time in a new demonstration for RDNA 4, built with Unreal Engine 5 and enhanced with our latest techniques for neural radiance caching,
Fuck UE5,
supersampling, and denoising. And so, I give you our new toy shop.
Okay, a new demo. Wasn't this at CES? Okay, so apparently this is real time. I'm not gonna lie, Nvidia's demos look way better than this. Way better. This doesn't look very good. Okay, neural denoiser. Oh, that's interesting. Neural denoiser is ray reconstruction.
I hope that you enjoyed that demonstration. I am amazed at
I mean, it
what
looked
the team
like
has developed.
RT
And this is just
from
a hint
5
at
years
what is
ago.
to come in the future.
To be honest.
AMD is also working
And the
together with
bitrate was low.
Microsoft to seamlessly integrate neural graphics techniques into future releases of DirectX that will light up the high-performance ML in our graphics hardware. As I wrap up, I wanted to end on one chart to give you a feel for the new levels of capability that RDNA 4 brings and the
Okay.
path of improvement that we've been on with RDNA as a whole. The journey of real-time graphics is just as exciting as ever, and we are not slowing down. But of course, great hardware needs great software.
Big improvements.
And so
Come on,
to
guys.
talk more about that, allow me to introduce Andre, our
FSR
Senior Vice
4?
President of GPU Technologies and Chief
FSR
Software
4 needs
Officer.
to be goated.
Thanks, Andy. The evolution of Radeon hardware has been accompanied by
Jeez, that name
Radeon
is
software
nuts.
innovations,
Where's he from?
unlocking the full potential of every AMD graphics card. We deliver complete and optimized experience, new features, more performance, and robust stability. With the RDNA
like
4
Adrenaline
family, we
software,
are
it's good.
leveraging AI everywhere, from hardware design to software feature development
Dos
to
Equis.
enhancing our QA. With this vision in mind, our upcoming RDNA 4 Adrenaline driver will set the new standard as the best launch driver in AMD history. Over the past few years,
I would
one
hope
of
it
our
is.
top priorities has been software quality. AMD has made significant progress in improving
there's
game
AIs over
compatibility, visual fidelity,
one.
and driver reliability. To further enhance reliability, we have implemented
Adrenaline's
AI-driven
good.
testing tools
They need to
that
drop the
identify
OBS
issues
clone
early
that's
in
in
the
it.
development.
Looks like
Our testing
shit.
now
Why,
covers
who'd
a
ever
broader range
stream
of
from
products
that
and
software?
configurations, ensuring greater stability across different setups. However, we recognize that
give
no
a
testing
basic recording
environment can
function.
account for every unique user configuration. This is why we introduced AMD Bug Report,
Did you say AI too?
enabling users to submit issues directly to us and help us refine our products. Additionally, we launched a new beta tester program, inviting gamers and enthusiasts to try pre-release
already had
software and provide
a
feedback.
beta tester
By
program.
working together with our
They had preview
community,
drivers.
we continue to push the boundaries of software quality and stability. Now, it's time to turn our attention to gaming performance. To seamlessly
Okay.
bring great performance to more games, we have a number of technologies that enable gamers to
Oh,
get
never
higher
mind. He's
frame
talking about
rates,
like HyperRx.
smoother
This shit
gameplay,
sucks.
and a richer experience at any
This shit
resolution.
is ass.
While FSR is an incredible in-game solution that delivers the best experiences, we know that there are thousands of other games out there where gamers
think the
want
camera's
more
fine, guys.
performance. And this is where HyperRx comes in. HyperRx automatically enables a suite of performance boosting and latency reducing
I've never
technologies.
used this in my life.
It works through the Adrenaline
not gonna
driver
lie.
and does not require deep integration
And
into the
AFMF
game
is
engine.
bad, too.
Therefore, it is our most widely
See if
used
they get
AMD
good.
software feature, available for more than 1,000 games. This year, we are adding new features for more performance and to improve image quality, with reduced ghosting and improved fine feature handling to make HyperRx even better. In some of the most demanding games at 4K, AMD HyperRx can deliver over 100 frames per second at 4K max settings. In Star Citizens, gamers can
they're
experience
upscaling from
up to
1080p.
2.9 times better frame rates.
And they're using AFMF.
Similarly, in Kingdom Come Deliverance
frames.
2, users can enjoy silky smooth game experiences at 4K resolutions with all settings turned on. It can also automatically enable latency-reducing technologies like Radeon Anti-Lag to reduce latency in games like Apex Legends by up to 42%. One of the fastest-growing software technologies is super resolution, or frame upscaling.
Stop trying to
In
push
2021, AMD released Fidelity FX Super Resolution, or FSR. This is a cutting-edge upscaling
This is what needs
technology
to be
to
good.
improve game performance.
FSR.
FSR has quickly become widely adopted across many
Yep.
games and platforms.
400
Today,
titles, yep.
FSR is available in over 400 games, and our latest iteration, FSR 3.1, is already featured in over 70 games. The list continues to grow at an impressive rate.
Yeah,
enabling
FSR 4
all
can be
gamers to
integrated
enjoy
directly
frame
into games that
generation
use
and
FSR
upscale.
3.1.
FSR has
So,
come a long way since introduction in
Those are the important
2021
games.
as a spatial upscaler. In 2022, AMD launched FSR 2, which incorporated temporal upscaling and motion vector data. This innovation dramatically improved image quality in motion-heavy scenes. Building on this momentum, we introduced FSR 3 in 2023, adding frame generation to interpolate frames and further boost frame rates. Our latest version, FSR 3.1, had many
This is
quality
the big one
improvements
right
to
now.
reduce flickering and shimmering. But more importantly,
It really didn't look that much
FSR
different.
3.1 introduced for the first time an upgradable FSR API. This was the basis to seamlessly unlock new capabilities in future versions of FSR. Which brings us to today. AMD RDNA 4 owners will get access to a new version, FSR 4, featuring AMD machine learning powered upscaling
Here we are.
specifically developed for
Can we get some
RDNA
visual
4
comparisons?
We are delivering near-native image quality at
Price there
4 times
550
lower
and 600.
resolutions.
Hank says
We
thanks.
have improved ghosting, anti-aliasing, particles, fabrics, transparency effects, more effects. The result is much improved near-native image stability with greater performance. In
Okay.
addition to these improvements, FSR 4 works seamlessly with our frame generation and latency
Doesn't matter till we see
reduction
it and we see how it
anti-lag
performs,
technology. Everything we
honest.
discussed is designed with gamers in mind. At the same time, we worked very closely with game developer community. Now we are taking it to the next level with an upgradable
But
and
y'all are like
flexible
move
API
cam.
that
There's
empowers
nothing
developers
fucking
to
here.
seamlessly integrate and
Calm
deploy
down.
future FSR technologies.
There's literally nothing.
FSR 4 can be enabled
barely
on
covering
all
anything,
participating
even on the
FSR
slides.
3.1 titles. This allows us to deliver FSR 4 on more titles sooner. This means FSR 4 is ready for the future of
It's
neural
fine.
rendering
Y'all are good.
with the same upgradable API.
I'm watching.
FSR 4 upscaling is end-to-end AI solution developed on
Oh, that's
AMD
AI.
consumer platforms with Ryzen processor and Radeon graphics. We trained our model using the latest AMD EPYC and Instinct accelerators and optimize it for the new FP8 ML acceleration in
Put
RDNA
face cam
4.
over chat,
Our
man. I
new
might do that.
technology leverages a proprietary hybrid model resulting from extensive research across different
I
types
miss
and
another AI?
combinations of
Did you only
neural
say it once?
networks and unique training techniques. FSR 4 uses the new FP8 data type in the RDNA 4 architecture to balance quality and performance. The result
sound
is
like it.
flexible solution that works with the existing FSR 3.1 framework. Solution that enables a new ML option for upscaling alongside with frame generation and anti-lag technologies for a highly
Is
performant
he just like doing a
end-to-end
yapathon?
solution.
Like what is?
Here we are showing a close-up shot of Space
Okay,
Marine 2
okay, here's some data.
running native
Or some-
4K versus our previous generations of FSR 3. In the native mode, you can
Still
see
frames
the
aren't a
series
very good
retain a lot of
representation. I'm not
detail.
gonna lie.
FSR 3 does a good job of retaining most
Okay.
of the detail, but in a performance mode, it does produce a softer image. By leveraging AI, FSR 4 is not only able to retain the details, but even corrects the loss of details over the native TAA mode. With that in mind, let's
I ain't
turn
gonna
our
lie, those
attention
looked
to
exactly the
performance.
same.
In this video example, we have Call of Duty Black Ops 6 running
Which I
at
guess is
max
a good thing.
settings at 4K with variable rate shading turned off. The minute FSR 4 and frame generation is enabled, frame rate increases 3 times. In the third-person shooter Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, FSR 4 delivers an incredible 3.7 times frame rate uplift with sharper visuals. And in Warhammer
Interesting.
40,000 Space
They're comparing it to
Marine
native,
2,
by the way.
you see faster frame rate by enabling FSR 4. As you can see, the resulting output is nearly indistinguishable from the native resolution.
That's cool.
I'm happy to say that a lot of our
can't
partners
wait to
and
try it.
friends are excited about FSR 4. Gamers can enjoy the latest ML upscaling technology in over 30 titles at launch, with over 75 titles planned by 2025.
Okay.
Similar to the rest of our Fidelity FX technologies, AMD will make FSR 4 for
15 AI.
RDNA 4 available to all developers in the second half of this
It
year.
needs to get into a lot of
broadening
games
the reach
very
as much as
quickly.
possible.
It really does.
I'm sure that you are all excited to hear more about Radeon RX 9000 series products. Let me turn things back to David.
All right.
Thanks, Andre. As we
I mean,
built the
it
Radeon
looks the
RX
same, which means
9000
it's
series
good.
family,
So we'll see.
we focused on a number of imperatives. 85% of gamers purchase graphics cards below $700.
What a
and
claim.
we wanted to deliver a family of products to level up the experience for more gamers than ever.
No shit,
we wanted
guys.
to build products designed for today's most popular games and the most anticipated games launching in the upcoming years. That means building for higher display resolutions, as more
This is the
gamers
card,
are
by the
playing
way.
at
That
4K
looks
and
pretty cool.
1440p than ever before. But it's not just resolutions that are getting more demanding.
Looks nice.
New game engines and new
I missed the
technologies
dono.
are pushing the settings used in the latest games. Ray tracing
If you
has
want
become
cam.
far more prevalent in the latest titles.
Yeah, just watch the
And
normal
gamers
stream,
want to
guys.
enjoy great frame rates with all of the new in-game technologies enabled. And last but not least, we wanted to deliver a product family which makes the whole upgrade process as simple and seamless as possible, with reasonable
Okay,
power
apparently
envelopes
there's been
featuring
some
standard
GPUs that use
8-pin
12
power
volt
connectors on
2x6,
many of our card
so
designs, and the
that's a little
ability
weird
to
of a
just
claim.
plug and play into as many systems as possible.
Yep.
Today, I'm so excited
good.
to introduce the Radeon RX 9000
All right.
series graphics cards, combining our next generation architecture along with the latest gaming technologies. With a significant performance increase over our prior generation, the Radeon RX
All right, show us some
9000
shit.
series
Come on.
was built to deliver everything you need for 4K gaming at a 1440p price point. I'm thrilled to announce the Radeon RX 9070, the world's best $549 graphics card. The
Fuck.
9070 is a great option for getting immersed in the latest titles. With 56 RDNA 4 compute
it's not
units,
terrible,
16
but
gigabytes of memory, 2.5 gigahertz boost clock, and over 1,100 AI tops, all in an incredibly efficient 220 watt power envelope, starting at $549. Generationally, at 4K resolutions, the 9070 is able to deliver
be
on
worse.
average 21%
At least it's not 600,
faster
700.
performance in over 30 of the most popular games, including both raster and ray trace
This is what we've
titles.
seen before.
Games like Cyberpunk and Dragon Age the Veilguard are great examples where the 9070 is able to outperform the 7900 GRE by 25% or more. In ray tracing, those differences can be even greater, well over 30% in many cases.
This is the numbers
if you have a
we saw, didn't we?
1440p display, the uplift is similar at 20%. And all of this is with no special software enabled, just pure 1440p performance.
Why the GRE?
For those
Why
gamers
not
playing
compare
popular
against
competitive
NVIDIA?
esports titles at 1440p, the RX
Again,
9070
if the supply
delivers
is
great,
very good on these
ultra-high frame
GPUs,
rates,
it
meeting
could
the
be great.
capabilities of today's latest
we don't know
high
yet.
refresh gaming displays. In games like
AMD
Counter-Strike
moment,
2,
J. Chris.
Dota,
Yeah, thanks,
you
man.
will see frame rates
Jesus.
well over 300 FPS. But if you want to take your performance to the next level,
Oh
the
my God.
RX 9070 XT delivers even more, making it the world's best graphics card under $600. It delivers all you
It's
need for an
$599.
ultra-immersive
Is it
gaming
under 600?
experience
It's
at
$599.
1440p and 4K.
Why is it $50?
With 64 compute units, clock speeds boosting to nearly 3 gigahertz, over
They not
1,500
learn?
AI tops, all at a total board power of 304 watts. And best of all, a starting price point of
That's actually a lot of AI
$599.
tops.
Looking at the same suite of
That's
games
actually a lot.
against the
That's AI.
7900
That's two
GRE,
AIs.
the 9070 XT delivers an awesome 42% gaming advantage at native 4K Ultra. Again, this is
But it costs
pure
more than
gaming
the
performance
GRE.
uplift with no additional software enabled. But with the
Yeah,
power
man.
of FSR4, the 9000 series graphics cards have the ability to deliver very
Which
high
one's
frame
DOA?
rates, well above 100
The
FPS,
9070's DOA.
while maintaining near native image quality. Compared to native 4K performance on the 7900 GRE, the 9070 XT with FSR4
Should be
can
500.
deliver 3 to 4x higher frame rates with incredible image quality and
You have a GRE?
responsiveness.
Congratulations, man.
At
Easily an
1440p, the
upgrade for you.
performance of the 9070 XT is equally strong, averaging 38% faster gaming against the 7900 GRE. But gaming isn't the only place where the 9070 XT shines. For creators, you'll see a nice step up in AI
9070 is
creator
DOA.
and generative AI workloads, with the 9070 XT outperforming the 7900 GRE by 40% and higher in generative AI and creator workloads.
Oh, he said it too.
This is a massive leap forward in performance, advancing both
I mean,
your
they need better AI
productivity
performers
and
to compete.
creativity. Now, let's look at the competitive performance of the Radeon RX 9070 XT at $599 versus the 5070
Oh, they are gonna
Ti
compare.
at $749. The 9070 XT, powered by RDNA 4, is
Already?
able to
Okay,
deliver
let's see.
fantastic performance for $150 less. Across some of the most popular titles, the 9070 XT
Is
is
that
the
enough
best
less?
choice for your next gaming PC when looking at raw gaming performance. But
So
when you
upgrading from
factor
a
in the
6800
difference in
XT,
price
that's a
point,
decent
the
upgrade.
9070 XT delivers an impressive gaming performance per dollar advantage over the competition's latest
It's
at
not
4K
enough.
resolution.
But NVIDIA
And
card
if
might
you're
not
looking
be
to
at
the
MSRP
absolute
for a
best
long
performance,
time,
our
even if it
partners
ever
will
will
feature
be.
a higher power
But if NVIDIA
340
feels
watt
pressured,
model
they will
with
just-
even more performance. This makes the 9070
They'll just,
XT the most
drop the price or
compelling
something,
upgrade for your
make
system
more.
by far. The Radeon RX 9000 series is designed to deliver excellent gameplay
This isn't anything
at
different
all of
than
the key
RDNA 3.
resolutions, especially 4K and 1440p with next-generation RDNA 4 compute units. Both cards feature 16 gigabytes of video memory, giving you more flexibility to increase in-game settings and play at higher resolutions.
Depends how it'll
Pair
price in
that
the
with
real
the
world.
latest DisplayPort 2.1a and HDMI 2.1b technologies, and you're ready
That's cool, they
to
upgraded
drive
the
the
DisplayPorts
latest
and stuff.
ultra-high refresh monitors. With standard 8-pin power connectors across
they should have
most
anyways.
designs, the RX 9070 series is an effortless drop-in upgrade for your system. And with PCIe 5 capabilities, they're a perfect match with the latest Ryzen 9000 series processors and the AMD AM5 platform. The combination
And
of
the card looks
Ryzen
fine.
and Radeon, along with the advanced suite of AMD gaming technologies, ensures that you're ready to dive into your favorite titles, both today and tomorrow. Now, looking at one of those future titles, our friends at Pearl Abyss are hard at work on their new game Crimson Desert. And we're really excited about this open world action adventure featuring incredible graphics, ray-traced visuals, and FSR 4. Crimson Desert is expecting to launch this year and looks incredible on the latest AMD gaming hardware.
From the jaws of victory.
Let's check in with Pearl Abyss on their progress.
저희 펄어비스에서는 AMD와의 협업을 통해 액션 어드벤처 게임인 붉은 사막의 방대한 오픈월드를 비주얼적으로 타협하지 않고 표현할 수 있었습니다.
Apparently AMD is getting free copies of
붉은 사막의 그래픽 수준을
Monster Hunter
높이는 데 큰
Wilds
도움이
too.
되었습니다. 라데온의 향상된
apparently they
RDNA
partner
4
with them.
아키텍처에서는 다이나믹한 날씨 시스템, 캐릭터의 의상과 지형의 디테일한 표현을 위해 제작된
I don't even know what
복잡한
this is.
쉐이더가 여유롭게 구동됩니다. 또한 라데온 9070 XT의
Chat is very
업그레이드된
mixed.
레이트레이싱 성능 덕분에 붉은 사막에서는 기본적으로 모든 반사와 광원들이 레이트레이싱을 통해 표현되며
Let's see what else they have to say.
흩어지는 검들
We can
사이에서
discuss
튀는
it after.
불똥과 풀스프의 반딧불이조차 모두 레이트레이싱된 그림자를 드리웁니다.
I mean, they're
여기에
advertising ray
FSR4의
tracing
혁신적인
on AMD
업스케일링
cards.
기술이
That's kind of
더해지면
interesting.
오픈월드 환경에서의 대규모 전투나 복잡한 도시에서도 4K 해상도와 디테일을 유지하면서 매끄러운 프레임 레이트를 달성할 수 있습니다. 붉은 사막의 자체 엔진에 이러한 기술들을 통합하기 위해 저희는 AMD와 함께 작업해왔으며 확장성 있는 구조 덕분에 매우 수월한 작업이었습니다. AMD와의 파트너십, 그리고 라이젠, 라데온, FSR4의 시너지 덕분에 저희는 놀라운 품질의 비주얼을
The fuck
극도로
is this
최적화된
game?
상태로 선보일 수 있도록 노력하고 있으며 유저들이 붉은 사막의 아름다운 월드를 경험하기를 기대하고 있습니다.
Wow. Thank you, Ki-young-jun, and the team at Pearl Abyss for the innovation you're bringing to PC gaming. I'm so excited to see what your
Is it a
team
good
is
game?
doing
I have no
and
clue.
how you're advancing the Ryzen and Radeon gaming experience. With the latest Ryzen 9000 X3D processors and the all-new Radeon RX 9000 series GPUs, you'll be ready for your favorite games of today and tomorrow. Alongside our new FSR4 gaming technology, AMD has some of the best options for you with our 9000 series solutions.
Okay.
Our partners have been shipping these cards into retailers and e-tailers
Massive,
to
guys,
ensure
massive.
broad availability at launch. I'm happy to say both the 9070 XT and 9070 will be available for sale starting
Wide
March 6th.
availability.
And in the second quarter of
Yeah,
this
March
year,
6th.
we'll broaden the family even further with the RX 9060 products, which we'll tell you more about later. From all of us,
9060
thank you
is
for
coming.
joining us today, and thank you for being a part of the AMD gaming community.
Is that it? Is that it, guys? Can we get AI to read this shit? Did he say AI at the end? You know, I was ready for this to be disappointing. And I'm disappointed. Very mid. Jesus Christ. I'm guessing this is over, right? I doubt. They're going to have a post-credit scene. Just imagine. Ah, fuck. Oh, my microphone. Sorry about that. I mean, it's not terrible, but that's the thing. They can't just make something that is just not terrible. All right, so let's go back to price. Now, it's cool to see news about FSR4.
Performance mode, it does produce.
We'll look about this in just a second. But let's check out the prices on this. So the 9070 is going to be $550. Now, the biggest red flag that is just insane. By the way, I'm going to turn on music. Let me know you guys think about the audio. Is it too loud, too quiet? Just let me know. But it's $550 for this. This is the most brain dead. Oh my god. So $550, and then the 9070 XT, the next tier graphics card up, is $600. Where is it? $600. $50 gap. Now, I ask you, AMD, when is the last time you've seen Nvidia pull something like this? And then what Nvidia has done, even though it's been shit, has still been working. Okay? Yo, thanks, Damien? Maybe Damien. That's how you pronounce it. But when's the last time NVIDIA did something like this? I don't even know. I'm trying to think, like, where they put 2 tiers of graphics cards right next to each other. The 960? I mean, they don't have to copy NVIDIA, but obviously this doesn't work. They did this last generation, 7800 XT, 7700 XT. Those GPUs, like the 7700 XT, really didn't sell for a very, very long time, okay? And the prices, let's see if we could maybe find some. So the 7700 XT was $450, 7800 XT was $500. Let's put chat up here, I think. And I'll go over here now. The 7700 XT over time ended up decreasing in price. Now right now it's very expensive, but I think a Sapphire Pulse would be a good model to check. We've seen that over time in the past 2 years, this GPU started at $450, okay? And then it went down to $400. And that's where it should have been the entire time. It's the exact same gap that should be between the freaking 9070 XT right here at $600 and the 9070. The 9070 should be $500. Should be a $100 gap. Especially at this price point, it makes some more sense. It will drop in price. AMD's trained us to do this. So that's just the first red flag. Why the fuck did they even do this? Riddle me this. They can't stop themselves from losing. Now, maybe, do these use the same chip? Are these both on Navi 48? I don't think they are. I'm pretty sure RX 9070 Tech Power Up. And then this one here. Oh, maybe they are on the same chip. So maybe it's just a cut down version. But again, there should just be a $100 gap between them so you really get a good deal on both sides. But maybe they don't have as much volume of this product or something like that. I don't know. This card at 550. Let me swap back over. This card at 550 is DOA. I want to sell this 9070 XT. The non-XT is there just to make the price look better. But AMD doesn't need to make their own price look better. I don't get this argument. AMD's at such a low point in market share that people aren't even paying attention to them. Like, average people aren't paying attention to them. They don't need to compete against themselves. They need to compete against NVIDIA if they actually want to take market share. But thanks, Yohasan. $599 for better than 5070 Ti performance is kind of nuts. That's what they did last generation. Def gonna buy this 9070 XT when they have wide availability. We'll see if they get good supply. That will be something that could save this if the supply is great at launch. That is one thing. But that's what they did last generation. So they showed this here, price to performance. Now in the real world, you know, 5070 Ti's are very expensive. They don't go for MSRP. But I don't think that means AMD shouldn't have made their MSRP what would have been most attractive. Where did they show this? Here it is. Is this it? Yeah, gaming performance per dollar versus the 5070 Ti. 23%. That's what they did last time, and it didn't work. Now, there's less disadvantages with AMD's GPUs if FSR 4 is good and if the ray tracing performance is kind of competent. They did this last time. And, okay, I think we need to look at some of these cards. So this is about the performance. This is where I kind of rank these out, and it seems accurate based on what they showed in their presentation. But we see here say the 7800 XT. Actually, that was a really good GPU. I don't think that's one we should compare it to. That's the only one I think they did last generation that launched at a good price and it was very competitive against the 4070 because the 4070 was $600 at the time, and the 7800 XT was beating it a lot of time in gaming performance. So I don't think that's exactly the one we should be comparing it to. That's the only like good one, I thought. Now let's say like the 7900 XT. Now this guy was $900 at launch. Maybe the XTX. Which one? 7900 XT. Okay, it was $900 at launch. As you can see, it performed a little bit better than a 4070 Ti. A little bit better. But the 4070 Ti was... This is so bad. This is so bad. The 4070 Ti was $800. 7900 XT was $900. All right. 7900 XT performed a little bit better, had more VRAM, but had worse ray tracing performance. So was the performance per dollar really there? And it had FSR instead of DLSS. And this card was dead on arrival. Now, that was probably their worst card in the last generation. We also compared it to something like the 7900 XTX. Now, NVIDIA really fucked up on the 4080. But I still think most time in the last generation, it was still competitive between the 4080 and the 7900 XTX. You can see their performance is similar. The 4080 for most of its life was $1,200 and the XTX was $1,000. So they have similar performance, but it's $200 less. All right, which would mean, what is that? That's a 6 less performance, so that's like 16% better performance per dollar on the 7900 XTX. Or something like that. And the 4080 had better ray tracing performance, so is it really that much better? Let's be for real. The XTX still sold okay, but it wasn't that crazy. So, am I nuts on this? This price to performance thing didn't really work out. And we also saw maybe the 7700 XT. That was a 4060 Ti, 16 gigabytes on here. The 7700 XT got 44 FPS at 4K here. 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte gets 40 FPS. All right, so it's a little bit faster, and the 7700 XT was $450. The 4060 Ti 16 was $500. Now it did drop to $450 later on, but we'll compare it at $500. So in terms of if they were the same price, this would have what 10% better price to performance on the 7700 XT. And then it was also what's 450, what's proportional of that? That's 1/9 of it. What is 1/9? 11% or something? Then you get 11%. So it's like around maybe 20 to 25% better price performance on the AMD card versus the NVIDIA card here. That wasn't enough. The 7700 XT did not sell that well. Make my own GPU, I'll just do that. Easy, right, I guess, right? So I don't see how these new cards are going to be that competitive. So if they perform 23% price to dollar, price to performance, gaming dollar, I don't know how that's going to... I don't know if people are going to care. And people are going to want to deny me, but we'll see it play out, okay? Now, the only thing that will save this is if there's a ton of availability of the 9070 XT, 9070, and then there's no availability of the NVIDIA cards. That would be flip the script. That could be amazing positioning, but again, I think they should have just priced them at a more competitive point to begin with. And then even if the market ends up making them more expensive, then there's still the MSRP price they can always drop it back down to, and they're not going to be price cutting later. AMD always messes up their MSRP. So, yeah. Also, get another dono. Yosin said, Johansson, there was a point where the 7900 XT was $750 with a discount at Micro Center, so I bought it dirt cheap. The 7900 XT at one point in its life, about a year after it came out, I think, it actually was a very, very good deal. But it didn't launch like that. And this is what AMD keeps messing up. Yeah, it's like, oh, you could get a good deal later on, but who cares at that point? They don't get relevance. Like, they don't build market share by launching in a uncompetitive way or in an uncompelling way. yeah, the 7900 XT at a point of its life, when the 4070 Ti was still $800, the 7900 XT was $750, and it was faster, had more VRAM. It actually was a decent value, but it still wasn't that crazy though. This chat is full of shills. A bunch of people coping in chat, I see. This is for the general consumer. Like, what is it going to actually play out to be if AMD wants to build market share? I don't think these GPUs are going to do it still. Now, they're going to get closer because feature-wise, they'll be less of a compromise with FSR 4. Let me go ahead and do a poll real quick. Just buy a 5090 and stop crying. I agree. Can't do that though. So what do you guys think about the 9070 XT price? What do you just think about it? Good, bad, good, mid, bad. All right, what do you guys think? I think it's okay. But they don't need okay. They need great. They need amazing. So it's pretty split between mid and good. Yeah, it's not bad, I wouldn't say. It's not riveting. It's not, oh my god, I need to buy this GPU now. Said, I don't care about AMD's market share. I want a GPU and one that doesn't burn down my house. Well, you would still get a cheaper GPU if AMD cared about market share. It would still be good for you. Like, this isn't acting against you. This is it would be a better deal. Are people not realizing this? You're justifying AMD charging more. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. Okay, let's see the 9070 price. What do you guys think about this one? Good, mid, bad. So this GPU is going to be $550. All right. Dude, you're saying I'm pessimistic. That's crazy. There's no reason to be optimistic. Now we know what it's going to be. Where's the dog shit option? Okay, the 9070 is saying it's bad. A little bit split between mid. I mean, it might end up being mid in the real world. We'll see how much supply there is. I'm just disappointed. I was ready to be disappointed. So you guys are saying it's a bad price on that one. XT and non-XT, only $50 difference. Yeah, what the hell? Exactly. Did AMD not learn their lesson? I don't understand. Honestly, being a Linux gamer now, AMD's offering or Intel's offering in Europe, hard choices to make as long as I get off NVIDIA. I mean, I know NVIDIA sucks on Linux, but at the same time, how many people actually use Linux? Maybe 1% of people. I don't know. AMD is better. NVIDIA is better. Cope. Yay. I think it's a good price. 50 XT. Wait, what? TI usually 50 XT. That doesn't mean anything. XT is actually equivalent to TI. That's not what that means. I'm just disappointed. It'll be okay for people that are willing to buy AMD, I think. And I think that's what a lot of people in chat are, because, I mean, guys, take the proportion of people here. A lot of us are turbo nerds that actually would be fine with this stuff and know that it's okay, and you're getting mostly a better deal, as long as you don't care about these specific features or something. But most people don't give a fuck, and they just won't buy it, because NVIDIA's... Like, it isn't going to be enough that people are going to be talking a ton about it. How many people are Linux users? I'm talking about the 6650 XT and the 6750 XT. Well, those were refreshes. The 6650 XT, the 50 XT, those are refreshes. That's usually what those are. Skullboy says, am I glad I bought the 5080 before tariff applied? I mean, honestly, the 9070 XT might come close to the 5080 in some titles. Linux reporting in. Make a poll for NVIDIA versus AMD. Well, I don't know. Like, how do I structure a poll that's going to be in a way that isn't just like cope? I don't understand. 40 performance for $600. Maybe. That's how they should have marketed it. But now, since AMD wasn't first to this, since they delayed the launch of this, they couldn't market against like a 4080 because now the 5080's out. But that would be a good point, is like it's coming in within striking distance of $1,000 NVIDIA graphics card. I mean, that's a good point. I wouldn't say the 4080 was a good GPU at the price, but yeah. Marky Mark says, I'm curious about the 9060. I guess we'll see. I have no clue when it's gonna come out. Jonas says, yo, I love your content, man. Why the fuck does it move? I only play CPU-bound games. Which GPUs do you recommend that I compare with the 9800 X3D if I don't want to break the big... I don't know what you play. You gotta tell me what you play. It's whatever maxes your CPU out, basically. And what resolution do you play at? So some other things. So on the software side of this, AMD did announce some things. So there is FSR 4, which is okay, I guess. Linux Simrig Moza Racing. What the? That's crazy. Like, that's so... Vex is vexed. Okay, so this is another very important part about this launch that AMD has had to nail, is they need a good upscaling, because so many games are relying on upscaling. Like, if you guys have played any UE5 games or any relatively modern games, you need upscaling. Bad Dragonite said, this launch is mostly going to come down to supply fires per... Yeah, this will be a supply launch. If AMD can come out swinging with a bunch of GPUs that people can actually buy, it will change the tide a little bit. But again, that's temporary. That's temporary. And AMD's already set their MSRP at what I would say is a little bit too high. So you're going to have to do official price cuts to really bring it down. God, so many donos, I can't really keep up. Thanks, though. As a 3090 user, I still don't have a reason to upgrade, I guess. Yeah, you could probably stick with that GPU. It's still great. Orange said FSR 4 locked in the 9000 series, unfortunately. We'll see if it comes to other ones. We've heard that they might be working on it, but yeah, we shouldn't expect it at launch. And you can't buy on a promise or expect it. 9070 is DOA. Price is stupid comparing to the 5070. 9070 XT depends on models launching at MSRP, in my opinion. Yes, I agree. So let's take a look at FSR 4, though. Do a Linux poll. Okay, I'll do a Linux poll. How many of you guys are on Linux? Because AMD is good for Linux. Let's see where this is. OS. Okay, so let's see. Windows. Let's say Windows 11. Windows 10. I'm kind of curious of that too. And Linux. And then, how many of you guys are actually in this chat on Mac? I just want to see that too. That'd be hilarious. Why are you even here? Okay. What OS are you guys on? Because AMD is good on Linux, and this is the cope that a lot of people are saying that it'll do well because of it. 51% is on Windows 11. I would think I would have a higher proportion of people on Linux in chat. Because, what the fuck is the Linux option? What are you talking about? It's right there. I would think, yeah, this is a larger proportion. I think overall market share, Linux increased a little bit because of the Steam Deck. But I don't know if you can use it on desktop. 15% is more than I would think. Most people are on Windows 11 though. That's more than I would think. But I think we're a little bit turbo nerds in chat here. The fuck is a Mac? Actually though. 50% is a lot for this chat, I will say. I don't think that extends to most people. I would be curious if you could take a general poll. Wait, can you do that? Does Steam Hardware Survey have this? I think they have an OS. OS version. Let's see how it reflects, actually. Yeah, Steam Hardware Survey. So in terms of gamers, Linux is only 2%. So we have a higher proportion of nerds in chat here. That doesn't really surprise me. Yeah, it doesn't look crazy. I mean, Windows 10 is still 43%. But I mean, if power users want it, I guess AMD is a little bit better for it, you know. That's cool. Johansson says AMD needs a wider customer base. The prices will do that and slowly get them bigger market share if they knock this out of the park. Well, they already announced the pricing, so I don't really think it'll knock it out the park. We already know. Chat, what is a Mac? Guys, what the fuck is a Mac? It's the only good upgrade for 3080 and lower. Maybe. I can see that. 1.9% of the Linux users is Steam Deck. Yeah, actually, probably. So, AMD really did need to compete with FSR or DLSS. So, DLSS has been very, very prominent on the NVIDIA side. I don't know how many of you guys only have AMD cards in chat and have never tried DLSS, or you don't have a newer NVIDIA card and you've tried DLSS. But NVIDIA also just recently made the next switch of their OS. Or they're not their OS. They're freaking upscaler. So there's also now DLSS, which is a problem because even though that's me, hello. But I made a video on this. If you guys are interested, and you can take more of a look at it. But DLSS 4 using the transformer model is even better than DLSS 3 was, and it will put up even more competition. Oh, there's another dono. That's a lot of some prices. Accolade has some prices for different countries. Interesting. It's hard for me to like actually conceptualize what other countries are like in terms of their pricing. I don't know what the currency feels like there. I can only really talk about USD from actual experience. So in here, FSR 4 needs to compete very well. And now they're using machine learning, which is cool. Which just like DLSS. So upscaling is basically required in games nowadays, at least a lot of the new ones, whether you like it or not. I mean, I don't really like it. Sometimes it's okay to use them, like, oh, I get more FPS with a slight visual loss in quality, but I don't really like this. But AMD is pretty much forced to compete because the entire industry has moved this direction. So they've made FSR 4 using machine learning or AI. Oh, redacted the dono. Thanks for the dono, Skullboy. So, to be honest, I mean, look, you guys are seeing this at 1080p. So let me hide my camera for a second, but do these look different to you guys? So they use these still frames. And this is what they're saying the new upscaler looks like. I don't see that much of a difference. 90 Games Lord says 9070 XT will be 800, 850 in Croatia probably. Not great, not awful. I'm impressed if all they said is true. Huge RT fan and FrameGen. Didn't even talk about FrameGen actually. To be honest, the only thing that I'm seeing right here is that these little spires are a little bit more reconstructed here. But in the other detail, I don't see this. Now, it is impressive that these are getting close to what native would be, but these are upscaling from 1080p to 4K. But I'm not seeing a huge difference here. Let me find another slide. Didn't they have another slide here? think didn't they do that? They advertised HyperRX, which is so garbage. Of you guys that use AMD GPUs or have AMD GPUs, do you use HyperRX? I've never touched it. And I like experiment with this shit. Where is this? Now the new FSR4 upscaling does have a part of a problem. You don't know what it is. No. AFMF is nice. I've never had AFMF look good. It doesn't even feel like I have more frames. I don't understand what's happening. It doesn't, like I use lots of scaling frame generation sometimes instead of using that. I don't understand it. It's only nice on handhelds. Yeah, maybe. It'd be fast to set up too. So yeah, this new FSR4 machine learning powered upscaling might only be available on the 9070 XT for now, on their 9000 series. And we're not sure if it'll come to their 7000 series or their 6000 series. Now, the only one that I think it could come to is the 7000 series. And that would be because it does have some AI capabilities. It depends how hard it is to run the models on it, how that will play out, and if they can fit it on those cards. But this is a downside. Now, I don't think a lot of people are, like, if you look at market share, I mean, let's go back to Steam hardware survey. Let's be for real. A lot of people aren't upgrading from AMD because they just don't have AMD GPUs. So they aren't like losing a lot of their like customer base. I mean, it's nice to support your customer base. But you know, if you can't do machine learning upscaling on the old cards, then you just can't do it at the end of the day. And I think there'll be like a fallback in games to use the older version of FSR that doesn't use machine learning. That would be my idea, at least. So yeah, let's see about a few of these more quality comparisons. Time Bear just donated 10. Thanks for the 10. AMD equals Chevrolet. The 9070 XT is a Corvette. 5070 Ti is a Lambo Huracan. The Corvette is faster, more comfortable, and reliable. Pay $190K for a Corvette or $220K for a Huracan. 9070 XT, $500 max. That's a weird way to come to that conclusion. That's a really weird way to come to that conclusion. Okay. I don't think it's a good analogy at all. Holy shit, is that a big donation? Where's that come? Alvaro Corrier says, I don't know what currency that is. Best upgrade from 3070 Ti, 5080 maybe. Not fully convinced on the 9070 XT. I mean, the 9070 XT will be the same price as the 3070 Ti. It should be a massive upgrade on that card. So that'll be something, I guess. Let's see if we can find some more quality comparisons, because I think they showed some more, right? Yeah, okay. But this is against native.
In the third-person shooter is enabled.
Jeez. Thanks, Skate Sayer. I play City Skylines 2. I know that game is terribly optimized. I got my population to 1 million, the FPS tanked to 18 FPS. I have no DLSS, so I clipped HyperRX, and the FPS improved to 67, but the map scrolling was smooth again. Yeah, I mean, it's probably GPU limited then. It'll reduce your resolution, it'll use AFMF for frame generation, which maybe they've improved it, but every single time I've used AFMF, fluid motion frames, it just looked bad. I don't understand. It's a great upgrade in price. What's the problem? What's the problem is it's not enough for AMD to convince new people. I think if you're already okay with getting AMD and you're okay with the compromises, especially now that FSR 4 might be good, we'll see this as it shapes up. But it's just not enough to convince NVIDIA buyers to not just keep buying NVIDIA, depending on the price. That's what they didn't say in the presentation, is how much availabilities are going to be. They said there'd be wide supply, but that's what NVIDIA said too. They said they'd have wide availability. So here in FSR 4, I think you guys can see this one, right? Now you're looking at 1080p. but I can see that this looks a little bit sharper. So this is upscaling from 1080p up to 4K. And then this is native 4K on the left. And it looks sharper. I do see the artifacts too, yo. So there's some like blurriness going on here. And then there's this one looks cleaner on the left side. But they put the big old freaking FPS counter in the screen, kind of blocking that. It seems like these are disocclusion artifacts. So as the hand is moving by, things are getting revealed and they're going to get kind of garbled by the upscaling as it moves past it. Is this frame gen enabled? I think it is. I think this is frame gen enabled because they say it's 3 times the FPS. Usually if you upscale from 50% at performance modes, a lot of the time you can get twice the FPS of native. Depends on the game. And then frame generation would get you up to another times, so it'd be 3 times, I would think. I also don't know if they're going to do machine learning frame generation, but I can see the difference here. We'll see how it plays out in person because these disocclusion artifacts might be really annoying. Aiden says they didn't pull out an AI song, so AMD already won. Yeah, at least they weren't cringe. Okay, so we also see here in Ratchet and Clank. This isn't very good. They streamed this at... Yeah, they had a 1080p... I think this was a premiere as well. But they had a 1080p premiere or stream or something. David says, you cannot buy NVIDIA as they are sold out. The instability issues with the cards and frustration with NVIDIA in general is pushing folks to AMD. I don't think it'll be enough. The instability issues aren't that bad. I don't know what people have been complaining about. See, that's the thing. I can actually speak on this because I do have some of the cards. I've tried them. I haven't really had that many issues. The only weird thing was the PCIe stuff, but it's because it's 5.0. And I was using a 4.0 riser, so I got some weird issues. But the NVIDIA cards are sold out, so yeah, I agree. If these do come out with good availability at their correct MSRP price, then it could be very compelling. But we're yet to see that. I'll believe it when I see it. Again, I just don't think they should have put their MSRP higher than like they should have just put the MSRP at 550 and 450, and even if the market would decide that they end up costing more, do the same thing that NVIDIA does. Let the market adjust, but your MSRP kind of grounds how much they should cost. That's how they should go with it. And you can have some models that are a little bit more expensive if you feel like it's worth it. I think that would have been the way to go. But now they're going to have to, if they want to be more competitive later, they're going to have to do a price cut. And people don't find out about price cuts, or they just have to like, basically, it's basically like admitting defeat if you do a price cut, when you could have just got it right from the start. But on this one here, the native TAA, it looks like, and they did these at 1080p. Maybe that's why we can't see the differences, but you literally can't see the difference on a 1080p video. They just like didn't think about this. Do you think the AMD lasts one millisecond longer in stocks than NVIDIA? Came and said, would the 9070 XT be better if than my RTX 3080 12GB? It will be faster. I don't think it'd be worth the upgrade, but it would be faster. Yeah, I don't really see a huge difference here. To me, I don't know if these are video compression artifacts or not, because this side over here looks like kind of blocky, and those are usually video compression. And on this side, it's like smoother looking. I don't know. I mean, it's cool that they don't look that different. I'm hoping they didn't upload a 1080p video to hide the differences between these, because that would be weird. Dima says 9070 XT is $600 is okay, but 9070 at $550 is DOA. I agree. And it looks like they haven't learned from the 7900 XT and XTX launch. Neither have they learned from the 7800 XT and the 7700 XT launch. I don't. Well, I don't know what they're cooking. Jesus Christ. Thanks, typo. Is the 9070 XT a good upgrade for the RX 580? Literally anything is better. than that card now. But it's a lot more expensive, so like you're paying more. What does DOA mean? Dead on arrival. Yeah, I think you'll have a great upgrade, man. Just buy it anything, and it'll be pretty crazy. But yeah, you're paying like probably 2 to 3 times as much as what you paid for that card, so I don't know how that'll affect you. But yeah, here's Ratchet & Clank, and then there's as well here with Space Marine 2. Again, these aren't even like a like-for-like comparison. Almec says, would the 9070 XT be a substantial upgrade from a 3060? Yeah, it would be a massive upgrade on that card. You can actually see in here, based on the performance here, the 9070 XT will be sitting here. 3060 is less performant than a 3070. So imagine this, but maybe at 25 FPS. Yeah, the 9070 XT gets up to 77. So you're going to be like over twice as much performance. But you're paying more, so your price to performance might not be as crazy as you would think. But it will still probably be good in terms of price to performance. Yeah, I don't see any... I mean, it's good if we don't see any difference, but I don't know if this is because it's a 1080p fucking video. But I don't see any differences. And you guys are watching the stream at 1080p as well, so I don't know how much you can really see this either. I mean, here's a little bit more zoomed in. I can hide my face cam, and you guys can look a little bit more here. I don't know. I don't know what's what. I mean, it's zoomed in, but there's like compression artifacts. So, I mean, if it looks similar, that's a good thing. Now, they're advertising this with frame generation as well, because it's getting 3.4 times the FPS. Now, right images with upscaling, the new upscaler on. So if it were to look very blurry, if there were to be like obvious artifacts, and they showed still screenshots, where upscaling typically falls apart is in motion, and it's really hard to see these.
An incredible 3.7 times frame rate uplift with sharper visuals. And in Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, you see faster frame rate by enabling FSR 4. As you can see, the result...
It's really hard to tell a difference here. This doesn't show very much. Claudio says, I believe that the key difference versus last gen is the ray tracing performance in FSR and DLSS, because last gen was bad. Yeah, FSR was bad last gen. If the performance is similar, it will be a very big deal since 5070 Ti's are at $900. But we'll see if these cards end up costing more too. Like, we don't know. We do not know how this is going to play out at the end of the day. We hope that AMD has good supply. Now, this is something that will be the major contributing factor, I think, is that if they have good supply, their MSRP I think is a little bit too high, but if their supply is good and NVIDIA can't supply 5070s, 5070 Ti's at this competition here, then it will be a good upgrade for a lot of people. It'll be something you can buy. Where is it here? They said it'd be wide availability. Somewhere in this presentation here. Where is it? Right. Is it right at the end? It's like there's a slide. Yeah, wide availability in March 6, 2025. So you would think that these, based on that language, there would be a lot of units available. But NVIDIA actually said the exact same thing. So this is extremely vague. We have no clue if there's a lot of availability. They've had time to make more because they should have announced season or release season January, and they've been in stores and everything. So maybe they've built up supply, but we don't know. And they also said price is subject to change, so maybe this could reduce in price over time or increase in price. We don't know. This is just the MSRP. They did talk about shipping to retailers. When did they say that? Let's watch Gamers Nexus about the announcement. Do they have a video out? I think FSR 4 will be a decent improvement. And it definitely makes less compromises by going to AMD. Also, they improved the encoders, so we're yet to see if those will be very good, but that'll be something that, like, that's one of the reasons I don't use AMD on my main system, is because I need better encoders. So I use NVIDIA. But yeah, we'll see. All right, let's see what Gamers Nexus has to say. They might have some more information. Here is the link to this in chat if y'all want this. Yeah, FSR 4 is 9,000 exclusive. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at this, guys.
$600, $550. There's a $50 gap between the RX 9070 and the RX 9070.
I do want to confirm too. I am getting these cards. I think I don't have them. I don't know when the fuck I'm gonna get them. Because these launch on March 6th, and I still need to test them, but I don't even have them. And they still have to get shipped. So, like, what is it? What time? Or what day is it? 28th? I have 6 days. That's not very long.
XT. The release date is March 6th, which is a day after the RTX 5070 launches for $550. It's a weirdly small gap between these, but AMD isn't a stranger to smother.
Are these the cards?
In one product with another. It did that with the 7900 XT and the 7900 XTX last time.
Yeah,
AMD today announced its RX 9070 series again. If it feels familiar, that's because it is.
Well, it's 6 days to make a review. I don't even have 6 days because I don't have them and they haven't even been shipped. So I probably realistically have about 4 days, and it depends at what point in the day that it gets shipped. So I might only have 3 days. So I would need to test them, get all my tests rendered out in their comparisons, and then still have something ready by the day. It's actually impossible. It doesn't work. I mean, this is reviewer problems, YouTuber problems. But sleep is overrated, bro. I haven't even been sleeping that much. It's tough, man. But whatever. It's not really your guys' problem. It's just, I wouldn't expect like a day one review. I've been getting shit late. Like I didn't get the 5070 Ti until late. They fucked up that. I haven't even heard anything about the 5070, so I don't even know when I'm getting that or if I am getting that. Because I've been pretty hostile towards NVIDIA, so I don't know. They might not give me one. We'll see.
So in January, AMD started to announce it. It briefed the press. We published the information along with anyone else who's...
What's your process? Actually, let me do it a little bit. I want to yap a little bit. I want to make some videos actually showing about how I do this stuff, but I do a lot of tests that I don't show you guys. So this is my entire chart of everything. So I have a ton of numbers. I have a ton of numbers. A lot. And I want to make more in-depth videos, kind of like Daniel Owen style. Because I have all this data and I actually have these huge comparisons. I just don't show them because I don't have time to like make them. But I'm making my process of editing them together faster, so I should have a little bit more time. I would get dizzy. Yeah, this is weeks of benchmarking. Weeks. That's not even all of them. I still want to do the 7900 XTX, the XT. I need to do the 4070. I don't even have that one benchmark. I need the 4070 Super, 7800 XT. I got a lot still to do. But I'm going to cut down some of the benchmarks to make them a little bit faster because I don't think I need this many to get a point across. And then I'll probably come back and benchmark the rest of it, I would think. But yeah, this is kind of what it's like. A lot of sitting here and getting the test done and all that. Okay, let's go back to Steve. So, yeah, I probably won't be able to get anything out very significantly. It's like I just uploaded my 5070 Ti video. That was my review that I just posted. I title my reviews and phrase them in a way because I don't think I can just do like a review. There's already enough reviews. So I just end up making I try to make an interesting topic about the video and then go from there. So yeah. That's kind of where I'm at with it, especially when I can't upload it day one. So
pre-briefed, and then it decided, never mind, we're not going to say that on stage because we just found out NVIDIA's price or something and decided not to. So that's kind of what went down. It is now re-announcing the previously rescinded announcement that had shriveled up and gone back once it came. The RX 9070 is positioned to fight the RTX 5070, with the 9070 XT up against the 5070 Ti. They even aligned the naming this time. In fact, AMD has basically decided to steal NVIDIA's naming, growing tired of its own. And we can't see why. The previous naming scheme brought us greats like the R9270, the R7370, the RX480, the Fury X, the RX580, Vega Frontier Edition, Vega 56, Vega 64, back to the RX590, RX 5700 XT, RX 6950 XT, and the RX 7900 XTX. I'm definitely skipping a few in there. It's kind of hard to keep track of them all. See previous naming issues.
Yeah,
so now it is on to the NVIDIA naming scheme, and it's the 9070 series. We'll see how long they stick to this, and we're waiting to see what they do once they hit the dreaded number.
Hey guys, how many generations do you think they'll stick to this naming scheme? You know, think like three, a big three. We'll see. 2, 1, only 1. Damn, that's no time. Just this one. I think it's weird for them to copy NVIDIA. Like, what are you trying to be at this point? Like, you're not carving your own identity. Because again, we saw this with the B580. It was a good GPU at a good price. I mean, availability has kind of sucked on that one. But Intel, I don't know what's going on with Intel. I haven't even heard anything from them either. But the 9070 XT, like, the B580s sold really well. It's because it was just a solid GPU. That's it. They don't need any kind of crazy name. It has nothing to do with other brand names. What the fuck is a B580? It sounds nothing like a 5070 or something like that, or a 9070 XT. It's like, why are they trying to be off-brand NVIDIA? Like, why? I mean, at the end of the day, it might not matter, but weird choice.
For 10. Maybe AMD will be the first to launch the 10080 Ti XT. Anyway, AMD's brought the 9070 out again, and so now we're going to go into the specs and some of the pricing recap. Before that, this video is brought to you by Thermaltake and the Tower 600 case.
Have you guys tried this case?
The Tower 600 is a vertical case design with Thermaltake's unique showcase presentation, which stands out further with its separate chassis stand kit that rotates the case for an angled showpiece. The Tower 600 is heavily ventilated around the sides, has a ton of radiator support, including up to 420mm solutions, and offers 2 GPU mounting options for display and cooling optimization. It also comes in colors not commonly seen in cases. Learn more about the Tower 600 at the link in the description below. First up, the price. At $50 apart, it seems like they're going to smother each other. We'll look at the data in about a week or so, a little less actually. So we'll know soon enough. It does seem like they're just too close to not cannibalize one or the other, because the XT and the XTX were $100 apart, and they were too close. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But
I mean, he's saying that. He's so right, bro. How did AMD not learn? They've done this before. Unless like they intentionally, but that's the thing. You don't have enough marketing power, enough marketing presence and mind share to just like charge a GPU and just make them $50 apart. You don't have that. You don't got that riz, you know? They need to have every GPU they make be very good, so they destroy at every price point. And I think the reason why they priced the 9070 at $550 is because they named it the same as a 5070. So they might have been stuck at that point, which is crazy. And then they wanted it to cost the same. But they should have just changed the XT to be the 9070 and then called the other one a, I guess it would be a 6070. Or a 70, yeah, a 9060 or something. I don't know. It's just so weird. But like that card should be a little bit cheaper. It should be at $500, and the 9070 XT would be at $600, and there'd be a $100 gap. That'd be a nice space. But it would split people, so it'd be like people would be getting the 5070 at $550, and then there would be a 9070 XT $50 more, and then there would have been a 9070 $50 less. So it'd be like splitting people. There wouldn't be a direct competitor, so it'd be kind of weird. But that's still, I think, what they should have done.
Getting into it, a quick pricing recap. AMD's RX 7800 XT is currently priced around $500 to $530, depending on where.
This card isn't really available anymore. The 7800 XT? Yeah. And we saw this going, this card, it's a good value GPU. Even at this, it's still okay. If you want to buy this right now, I don't think it'd be the end of the world. We don't know how the availability is going to be on the 9070 XT. I mean, I don't really recommend it, but this wouldn't be the worst thing to get right now. But we had seen this card get onto 450 and 430 before. So this is a high price, I would say, right now. How much is tax for you on the 9070 GPUs? Well, it's like, for me, it's like, what, 8%, I think, sales tax. So what is that? Like $80 or something like that? I don't know. I think I just did my math extremely wrong. What is 550 times 1.08? Yeah, it's like, you know, it would be almost $600, but they both have tax, so the gap will be even.
Or if you can get it, the RX 7900 GRE has been around $550, though it's mostly been out of stock lately.
This is a good deal.
The RX 7900 XT is basically gone, but it was $630 to $640 at the end of last year, and it was more commonly around $680. The 7900 XTX was as low as $800 to $820 in November, and was commonly $930 in January. It launched at $1,000. The 7900 XT received a review from us entitled AMD's Greedy Upsell in December of 2022, knocking it for the $900 price point. We revisited it in October of 2023, so less than a year later, because you could get some models for $720. AMD dropped the price by 20% or so in less than a year. The 7900 XT became actually an awesome value after the price drops for at least a window there where, when it was $700, $720, especially before.
For reference, did any of you guys in chat buy a 7900 XT when it's like cheaper? I bought mine at $700. And actually, I don't have it with me right now. My friend has it. He's borrowing it. But like, it was a good deal with that. It was a good ass card. I ain't gonna lie. Especially 20 gigs of VRAM, that just makes you comfortable. $800. You got one for $650. That's a good deal. $720. Bought one at $610. Ooh, that's a good deal. How'd you get one for $610? That's so cheap. $650, $850. $850 is a little expensive.
For the 50 series and before the end of the 40 series, AMD really was looking pretty fierce with that particular card, especially
I buy a lot of shit used too.
And we'll talk more about pricing once we have the benchmark numbers in, including NVIDIA's lineup. But getting into the 9070 series, with that context, here's the specs. AMD provided this spec sheet for its RX 9070 and 9070 XT. The 9070...
I think I'm going to get these these press materials. I think I'll get them because I am talking to AMD now. Something interesting to point out is the AI performance is actually quite large on these. I think... let me see here. Because I have these in here. What are these? So it's like 1500 AI tops. So it has more AI performance than a 5070 Ti. If they're using the same way to benchmark that. Is that the same? Is that standard? Because look at that. 1400 on the 5070 Ti. The 9070 XT would have more AI performance in it. And have the same amount of VRAM, which could be really good for people who do AI workloads. It just needs to be, INT8 or INT4. I'm actually not sure. I don't know the difference. I don't know shit about AI. I don't use it. What if this card has power problems or heat issues? I don't think it'll have heat issues. I think it'll be fine. I mean, maybe the coolers won't be built up enough, but cards have been so overbuilt lately, I think it's fine. But these aren't 8-pin power connectors as well, so it'll be fine in terms of the power. That's actually a huge difference in terms of these. 220 watts and 304. So this card is... Yeah, it's being overclocked a lot because it doesn't have that many more compute units. It's actually similar in compute units to the 7800 XT. I think that was 60 compute units. Interesting. It wasn't overclocked a lot. And I think I've seen people get over 3 gigahertz with it from leaks. Yeah, this is INT4. So is this similar to NVIDIA's in AI performance? Anybody know that? Improved 7900 XT is the 9070 XT. Nah, it's better than the 7900 XT. How much does it cost? I missed it. 9070 XT is 600. 9070 is 550. Very close price difference. What is it is? What does it mean? INT 4 big numbers. Is INT 8 better than integer 4? Is integer? Is integer 4 better than 8? I don't think it would work like that, but I don't know.
We will have 56 compute units, or CUs, against the 64 on the 9070 XT. So that's a 14% increase or so in CU count between the two of them going to the 64. AMD has done splits like this before, like with Vega 56 and 64, but the architecture has changed dramatically since then. In a call with the press, AMD claimed that the reason it didn't go up to something like 80 CUs is because it didn't want to make something
I don't know if
expensive.
NVIDIA references integer 8 performance or integer 4 performance. I don't know what that number comes from. If anybody has answers on that, let me know. But apparently integer 4 is less precise. So I don't know if this is actually the same metric.
Definitely that would be very expensive. It would be a larger die, so that is accurate that the cost would go up. We also think that the architecture might just struggle to compete with the 5090 at the cost they would need to hit to do so, and that's probably a large reason for this as well. They're focusing on the mid-range where maybe the architecture is better tuned to compete. The hardware ray tracing accelerators match the CU count at 56 and 64, with AMD's so-called AI accelerators at 112 and 128 units. Boost clocks are significantly different between them. The 9070 XT is able to make more use of its extra 84 watts of power budget to hit an advertised boost of 2.97 gigahertz, with the RX 9070 at 2.52, although there was a brief window where they said it was 2.54, so there's two different sets of these slides out there, but 2.52 is the final that they give us right before the announcement goes up. Memory capacity is identical at 16 gigabytes. Both cards will also utilize the same GDDR6 at 20 gigabit per second. The board power is advertised at 220 watts and 304 watts, hopefully with room for board partners to scale up and add overclocking support. NVIDIA's overclocking support has...
Okay, I disagree with it. How are they going to scale up the 9070 when it's $50 apart from the 9070 XT? I mean, like, I don't... You would just always buy the higher tier one. Like, where are board partners going to make higher tier cards in that gap? Like, if it actually goes for MSRP. That we don't know. But weird.
Really been relatively lackluster this generation, despite what they claimed with the 5070 Ti. The 5090 especially was very lackluster. There just wasn't room in the power budget for it. So hopefully AMD can make that exciting for us. Finally, the cards technically are on PCIe Gen 5 by 16, but we already showed that there's no real impact here to performance with the 5090. There almost certainly won't be any impact with the 90 series either, with the exception of if they were to cut down the slot on a lower end model or something to like a by 4 again, like they've done in the past. That might cause some problems. But
I don't think 5.0 will matter for a while because most people don't have 5.0. So I don't think they're going to leverage that much. Could AMD price be the adjustment for tariffs? Don't know. I mean, NVIDIA did technically do their pricing before tariffs, and now this is after tariffs. So maybe this price adjusted, but who knows? Like, we really won't know until they actually release. And that's why maybe I'm a little bit thankful that I'm not even going to be getting these for a little bit, because I'm going to have a video that goes up probably at the point. I'll probably react to the things at launch and try to get some testing done, but I'll be able to see how the availability is. So it'll be really interesting.
For this, it won't matter. DisplayPort is up to 2.1A and HDMI at 2.1B according to this slide. Here's the block diagram for the RDNA.
By the way, so HDMI 2.1 supports 4K 240 hertz without display stream compression, I think. Or is it the B version? I don't know what the difference between HDMI 2.1B is versus normal 2.1. But I think this supports it with that. But I don't think this will matter for a lot of people. I don't think if you're buying a mid-range graphics card, you'll probably not have a 4K 240 hertz monitor. Although I think if you really want to make your games look better, getting a better monitor nowadays is surprisingly not that expensive. I think I've seen OLEDs that go down to $500 and they're 1440p 240 hertz. They're really good.
A and HDMI at 2.1B according to this slide. Here's the block diagram for the RDNA 4 die and
95% of gamers are leaning towards AMD now. No. Wait, what? Where the fuck are you getting that number?
architecture. AMD noted that this same die will be used for the 9070 to 9070 XT. The company says that this will be 356.5 millimeters squared, contain 53.9 billion transistors at most, and run on a 4nm process node. And then the 9070 would have some of the CUs turned off.
Probably want to upscale a little
this
bit,
is
but
monolithic silicon and not a chiplet design, AMD says. This variation of the GPU has 4 shader engines. Within each is contained 8 dual compute units. L2 cache is centralized and located towards the middle.
Oh, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, because someone in chat said 95% of gamers are leaning towards AMD. I'm like, yeah, it has to be CPUs. I wasn't even thinking about CPUs. Now that makes sense. AMD's just like destroying CPUs right now, which is so weird. Like, how is like AMD Ryzen is the same company or is owned by the same people, like as the Radeon division? It's just the difference between these two. I mean, maybe Radeon isn't confident enough they can actually compete with NVIDIA, whereas AMD on the CPU side actually found a really good opportunity to just destroy Intel at the time. So yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, they're very different departments, but you'd think that the executives would be kind of like, hey guys, let's do the same strategy that worked on CPUs and try to do that on GPUs. That would be crazy.
Of the logical block, totaling 8 megabytes of L2 with 64 megabytes of infinity cache at the outer edges and closer to the memory controllers. AMD's big claim here is a renewed focus on ray tracing performance, where it says it has doubled ray tracing intersection rates and improved ray traversal, alongside changes to how it's handling bounding boxes for BVH probing. So this
basically, it is supposed to be better, but we don't really know.
This is a big focus for them this generation, and it is somewhere they need to...
like, unless I'm an engineer, I don't really understand why it would help that much, but I know those are improvements. Like, I know what the BVH structure is. That is when you, for ray tracing, you calculate where the rays are going to hit, what object's going to hit, and then it calculates what kind of materials there are, how it needs to react when it bounces off of them, and that kind of stuff. But I don't know how much this will improve it, but it's kind of cool. So right now they're showing the path tracing, and ray tracing shoots out a bunch of rays, obviously. No shit, guys. And these will look like this before they're denoised. So it can only shoot out so many rays in a frame, and then it's going to denoise and combine a lot of these little pixels together to make something that looks decent. Obviously, they'll probably shoot more rays here because this isn't very much information.
Focus, because it's they're pretty competitive in raster for last gen versus NVIDIA a lot of the time, but there's instances where they just get completely crushed in RT. So they need to focus here. Here's a closer look internally, though, where the area we'll focus on is RT. Within what AMD calls the compute engine, AMD now has 2 ray accelerators to handle box and triangle intersections. AMD noted that the second intersection engine within the accelerator, quote, doubles the performance for both ray box and ray triangle testing, end quote, over RDNA 3. Although remember that this doesn't mean a clean doubling in performance in an actual ray tracing gaming.
Yeah. Intel did similar things with their latest generation. They made a bunch of ray tracing improvements, but like they were claiming like 2 times, 3 times, and it doesn't like translate to that. There's always going to be some kind of bottleneck, and they improved some things that really needed it, but it won't be like, there's going to be another bottleneck somewhere.
Benchmark scenario. AMD noted that RT processing takes advantage of a 128 kilobyte shared memory block, also shown here. And then this slide was dedicated to RT improvements specifically and highlights the addition of AMD's dedicated ray transform block, which the company claims will, quote, offload transformation as you transition from the top level RT structure.
Yeah, we'll see if this ray tracing performance is something that's actually usable. Because, dude, I don't want to turn on ray tracing like ever. Let me ask you guys, how many of you guys actually turn on RT? Let's do a poll. So, I mean, it's going to depend on what GPU you have. But, so, there'll be levels to it. So heavy RT, I'd be like light RT, because there's different, like you could just turn on reflections in the game or turn on shadows. And then there's also no. All right, let me know what you guys think. But like, I mean, RT is, I barely ever turn it on. I have access to some crazy fucking GPUs. I know most people don't have that. Get the price shown in chat. Oh, can I pin that? I think I can pin that. That'd be interesting. I hate RT. Reflections are cool. I like reflections. But again, I still wouldn't turn on most of the time. Dude, I have access to a fucking 5090. And I don't turn, like, whenever I've played on that, I don't really turn on ray tracing in that game. I mean, just to turn on to see what it looks like, and I'm like, I'm going to get high FPS again. I'd rather FPS than ray tracing. Okay. So, 60% no. And then more people do light RT. Path tracing does look really cool, but to be honest, path tracing annoys me. Because it just shoots out rays and then it's denoising it. The world, like, as you move around, like, it, like, adapts. It, like, adjusts to the ray tracing, which is so weird. So like as you turn around, it'll be like the exposure of the scene or the lighting of the scene is changing and it's like delayed versus what the game should be. Like you go back to raster and it looks normal, and then you go to ray tracing and it looks like it's delayed. The world isn't reacting fast enough. So yeah, it's a weird thing. It annoys me actually more to turn it on, but it's kind of cool for screenshots. Raster is better than any RT. I don't think that's necessarily true, but you're not always wrong.
To the bottom level, where there may be many instances of a particular geometry, end quote. Previously, shader instructions handled this task, and AMD says added overhead to ray traversal, which it claims to have now eliminated. The ray accelerators have the ray transform block and 2 intersection engines, which themselves required changes to BVH handling to be fully leveraged. AMD said it's moving to an 8-wide BVH solution, or BVH 8, from a 4-wide option, BVH 4, on earlier hardware.
Skullboy said, do you see PhysX getting better or ray tracing? Ray tracing.
Which it couples with its new oriented bounding box approach, OBB,
for,
that attempts to reduce wasted empty space in bounding boxes by better conforming to the geometry in the scene and theoretically reducing false positives, and also therefore reducing performance overhead and loss during geometry intersection probing. The slide claims that traversal performance improves by 10%. Again,
basically, there's a whole lot of words here, but what he's saying is that they made ray tracing more efficient on the new cards. I know, crazy. But if you're a nerd, you can geek out about this.
This is not a literal 10% gain in the final frame rate in an
Apparently 15% of us are on Linux.
It's a building block and a series of others to contribute to what AMD's claimed uplift is. We'll get to those numbers in a minute. This slide was pretty cool. The right side shows AMD's register allocation. It's always fun to look at stuff like this, with the top right showing RDNA 3 and the bottom right showing RDNA 4. Between the two, there's a change from static allocation in RDNA 3 to dynamic in RDNA 4. AMD highlights that RDNA 3 would reserve registers which may not be put to work, so it'd hold them in case they were needed, potentially not need them, and end up with inefficiency and unavailable resources. RDNA 4 is trying to resolve this. The bullets on the left make all this pretty clear, stating that the improvement is in efficient utilization, largely because registers can be released or requested as needed. AMD is claiming that its RDNA 4 CUs improve traversal by 2x over RDNA 3 when ISO clock and bandwidth. This 3D block on the right is supposed to roughly illustrate where AMD thinks it's finding most of its performance. It appears that the 2 intersectors and BVH 8 change from 4 are the largest contributions.
The prices are
RDNA 4 also introduces more out-of-order queuing and aims to reduce latency of memory requests, which AMD claims further benefit RT performance. Further out-of-order execution allows work to complete even while longer latency requests are processing or queuing. AMD makes an example out of an
PhysX on 50 series is embarrassing. Look at Mirror's Edge and Borderlands too. Yeah, it's bad.
an uncached leaf node on the slide, which would contain the lowest level of detail in an RT workload and could otherwise hold up a scene. Let's get into first-party benchmark claims next. We won't spend a ton of time on these since you'll be able to find plenty of third-party reviews online soon enough, but it'll help us set the expectations for what AMD's targeting. AMD's quick reference slide shows a claimed 26% uplift against the 3080 and 38% uplift.
What are they talking about? Oh, is this with ray tracing performance too? Wow. They don't split up ray tracing and raster. That's weird. This makes their old card look worse because the 3080 and 6800 XT were actually really competitive with each other. In fact, the 6800 XT would win sometimes. Like, actually pretty frequently. When is the review embargo? I'm actually not sure. Unless it's been leaked. Probably a day before launch, probably the 5th. Which is next, what's the 5th? It's February 28th. Is that Wednesday? March 5th for review embargo. Yeah.
Against the 6800 XT. And he did not show anything.
This is weird because this isn't really like these massive improvements over these older cards though. Because if you were to compare price, 650, 38% faster after 2 generations. For $50 less. Oh no, this is a 9070. Maybe, or $100 less and then 40%. I guess that's okay. Maybe it would be like 60% better price performance after what, 4.5 years? So
40 series or the 50 series here. At 4K Ultra and without upscaling, AMD is marketing the 9070 non-XT as an average of 21% improved over the 7900 GRE. The 7900 GRE was originally a $550 card. AMD is showing non-RT performance as improving up to 28% on baseline 100%, with the ray tracing performance showing a disproportionately favorable gain to the new architecture at up to 34%. This is good for AMD as it was weakest in ray tracing historically. This disproportionate gain won't wipe out AMD's deficit in something like Cyberpunk or possibly Black Myth Wukong, but the key will be whether it can close the gap with better value. At 1440p Ultra and native.
So, again, like if they really wanted to go after market share, they would compare against NVIDIA. Like just straight up. I mean, they did mention the 5070 Ti later, but they should have just compared against NVIDIA.
AMD claims the 9070 will be 20% faster on
average. You guys want to
with
know
the
anything? I'm pretty
peak
sure
at
all
38% improved for ray tracing and 26% improved for
stuff is
raster.
in the
AMD
description.
observed a slightly larger improvement in RT at
These are the
1440p for
K240s.
F1, which is interesting, despite overall losses in scaling and raster. 4K diverging from 1440p isn't abnormal, though. One thing we do want to call attention to and give AMD credit for here, though, is that they're showing native performance. So even if they show FSR, that's fine if they kept it locked to the same FSR option.
I agree with them because they mentioned FSR earlier in the presentation with the performance you could get out of FSR with frame generation. It's apparently 3 times more FPS, guys. But it's kind of nice here to just see normal performance. They're not bullshitting these. Doesn't seem like. Now, I don't know how cherry-picked these are. We'll see these in the real world. I don't have a 7900 GRE, so other people are going to do those comparisons. But I have a feeling my 7800 XT, it's kind of overclocked. It probably gets pretty close to that GPU. So we'll see. We'll see how these actually play out.
Between their older and their newer gen card, if they're comparing their own products to each other,
I don't think I'm going to
showing native is another step better than that.
It's hard to add
this
more
is a
games
massive improvement over what we've been complaining about NVIDIA doing, which was comparing its 50 series to its 40 series and enabling MFG 4X on the 50 series, but not the 40 series, and then just making it look like they are.
Well, they did enable 2X frame gen on the old gen, but it still looks like bullshit.
Wildly better than they actually are. So we do want to call attention to and give AMD credit for making a more fair head-to-head comparison between its own products here, rather than enabling some special multiplier on one and not the other. As for the RX 9070 XT, AMD compared against its 6900 XT and NVIDIA's 3090. Again, lacking any 40 or 50 comparison here. It claims a 51%.
I can't. Why did they make their old cards look worse? Because they include the ray tracing performance in the average. So again, the 6900 XT and the 3090 were very close GPUs. and as long as you aren't talking about ray tracing.
% uplift over the 6900 XT and 26% average uplift over the RTX 3090. Against the same 7900 GRE, AMD claims an average uplift of 42% or 66% in F124 with ray tracing at the high end. AMD claims it saw the same uplift in Cyberpunk with RT. In raster performance, the gains max out at 48% over baseline. And then at 1440p, AMD is seeing lower overall average uplift with a slight uptick in F124 RT. Now, of course, we have enough numbers here with what AMD's provided where we could produce a % scaling chart or something against the 7900 GRE data, which we have and is public at this point, and then calculate where these will land. But
there's always a thing with benchmarking. It's like you already have the numbers, you have the percentage differences, and it's almost like it almost feels pointless to do a bunch of tests because you already know where they're gonna sit. But I guess it's cool to have the numbers, especially for them because they just show graphs. I mean, I show side by sides and them running in real time. And this isn't any knock against them. It's just you don't actually see the numbers or you don't see them running. I get if you're going to record it and you're going to show people how it runs in real time, then it makes sense a little bit more to benchmark everything because you can see it running in real time. But this is it almost feels pointless, but yeah, he's gonna do it.
We're just gonna wait for the review because we'll have the actual numbers soon enough, and we'll be able to talk about the value and all that stuff then. But pricing is going to remain the key concern for these cards. They're doing some interesting things architecturally. We've covered a bit of that today. AMD's got plenty of opportunities to have ROPs and cables that are not going to burn. So the field is set for AMD to have a victory here. It is up to them to execute on it. And we just made a video called AMD Don't Screw This Up. And it talks primarily about the...
Yeah, it talks about the... So Joel said in chat, do you think, what is the biggest push or drive for your growth on YouTube? Bro, I'm not going to lie, this is not a YouTube consulting session.
Pricing. But the reason AMD has this amazing opportunity is because of NVIDIA's screw-ups, which are external and which it can't force. You can watch that video if you want to hear more of that discussion. We'll kind of leave that there. I already did the whole thing. But pricing is the key concern. We'll withhold further judgment on it until about a week from now. That 550, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that $550 pricing holds for the 90.
He's saying we'll see. He's like, we'll see how bad it ends up getting. Because that is stupid. Why? Guys, like, why?
79 XT. But we'll have numbers soon enough. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. That is the news on the specs for the cards. From what we understand, it sounds...
Those are the cards, right? Like, they're just able to show them? Like, AMD just does not give a fuck? Like, how are they just showing these? I guess they've already been revealed what they look like. That's crazy, though.
Sounds like supply will be okay. It's hard to know what that really means, but one of the weird pieces of background information here is that some of these retailers have had these cards since like December, but most of them were starting to get them in January when everything shifted. And so there was Chinese New Year in the middle there, which stops production.
Yeah, there's an AMD
and that
show.
would have affected everyone.
Of course.
But AMD's theoretically had a little more...
Wait, Bogdan, is that you? From Discord? Is that you?
Time to stockpile. So they've probably made use of that time. We'll see if it matters at all. It's really just going to depend on
okay, never mind.
How these look for price to performance, but also if NVIDIA stock stabilizes at all. Because right now it just looks like pretty much anything's going to sell. It's like price it whatever you want, it'll evaporate. But the thing that really matters is
it's like it sounds so real. It's like, you know, like you heat up a pan and then you got some water and you're gonna flick some water in the pan to see if it's hot, you know. This is like basically NVIDIA with their new cards. They're just like, okay, we're gonna drop some more. Okay, we're just gonna flick some water and oh, they're gone. They're sold. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Long-term staying power, reputational impact, and can AMD get market share? That's what they really need to try and do here. They're pretty close to the lowest they've ever been for GPU market share. They're at 10% right now, per John Petty research. And NVIDIA's down in terms of the reputation and the trust and the brand. Oh, yeah. So now it's the time.
Did AMD screw this up? Tito's like, what is your success to YouTube on YouTube? What's your secret? Okay. What do you guys think AMD screwed this up? That's a question I want to ask. Okay. Go ahead and vote. Did they screw this up? See, there's a yes and no, but if you're leaning towards one way, just vote that way, because the average will take care of it. There's need to be like a mid option. Yeah, so a lot of people are saying no. That's tough. 9070 yes, 9070 XT no. That's what they always tend to do. It's the more expensive one that is more attractive. So they're trying to make this cheaper one less attractive and then make that glaze their higher end card. But at the end of the day, they're glazing their higher end one, but it's like, well, the cheaper one, you could have just made that one good too and still be worth buying the higher end one. NVIDIA does it all the time. NVIDIA walks you up the price ladder. It's like, well, the 4060 Ti kind of sucks. The 4070 is good. The 4070 Super is better, but it has 12 gigs of VRAM. So you might want to go to the 4070 Ti Super, which has 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Like, NVIDIA walks you up. Like, there's a reason to upgrade every time, despite there being a pretty big price difference between them. So you don't need to do this shit. But that's what AMD's doing. So you guys are saying that they didn't screw this up. Oh, I just realized it's like a double negative. So a lot of people are saying no, they didn't. Now, is this launch exciting? That would be another poll. Are these GPUs hype? Okay. Let me know on that one. Interested. Yeah, this one might be split. Because I think it's going to depend on the supply. If they can provide GPUs when NVIDIA can't, it could be okay, but that will be a limited thing, because NVIDIA will ramp up production and get shit out there if it is a supply issue. They will be competitive. NVIDIA won't let AMD just do that. They won't. But NVIDIA is going to make as much money as they can right now, it seems like, with the supply issues. Whether or not they're true. They have 2 cards, that's it. Well, at least now. The 9060 apparently is going to be announced later. Nothing hype about it. So it's pretty split. Okay. Okay. Now I'm just debating, because you guys know me. Only reason there is hype is because the other high-ish cards are supposed to be 550 and they're going for like 1,000. I mean, you know, that happens. I can't read. That's a problem. So, like, I don't know how I'm going to approach this, because obviously I'm going to make a video on this. It's just so mid, and it's going to be a nuanced take. Dude, I just, like... it's not that negative, but it's not that great either. That's the thing, is they needed something that would be great and amazing. 9070 should be 450. I mean, if it was 450, it'd be amazing. Everybody would buy it. But if the 9070 XT was also 550, everybody would buy it. Because it would be literally 5070 Ti performance, but at 5070 pricing. And it would have more VRAM. So, like, I don't know. It's, you want too much. Well, it depends. What does AMD want? Like, oh, I have a freaking countdown. Oops. Yeah, like, does AMD want to build market share? This is how they build market share. It's actually pretty simple. It's weird because a lot of people in chat, I mean, we're kind of turbo nerds. I mean, we're okay with using AMD. I mean, I used AMD for a while. The only reason I'm using NVIDIA right now is because of the encoders on the GPUs. I don't know if this is enough to convince people that aren't aware and in the loop and are actively deal hunting for GPUs. I don't know if this is enough. Pimple, shout out to your pimple. Dude, this one is so weird. It's so weird, bro. I think this is like a cystic pimple. Because it's been like slowly coming up to the surface of my face for like months. It's so weird. And it like, it's like hard. Pause. Should I sell my XTX? No, that's fine. I would keep your XTX. It's cancer. Yeah, I'm gonna die. I find the AV1 encoder good on the 7900 XT, but if you tried the NVIDIA one, it is better. It is. It's more efficient. Still leaning with the B580. Well, these are different performance tiers. B580. Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be a nuanced take. I'll probably be uploading the video later. But, unfortunately, I'm disappointed. It seems like you guys are not super disappointed, but I don't think it's super hype either. Kind of mid. What do we expect from AMD? It really depends on the supply. If they can get a lot of GPUs, at least for the first few months here, see if NVIDIA ramps up production, then it could be very compelling. ASD said it's pretty disappointing. AMD still priced too high. I don't know. Apparently, they said themselves that they were trying to build market share, and then they did this, and it's like, I don't think it's aggressive enough. Again, and I said this multiple times, but the MSRP could be the same thing that NVIDIA is doing, where like it doesn't actually run for the MSRP. They should have, I think, made the MSRP lower. It would be a weird situation, but it all ends up at the actual market. How are people actually going to be buying these? And if the market ends up making the GPUs more expensive, or there's higher end partner models or something that costs more, AMD could make a little bit more money. But I don't think they should have set the MSRP higher, like where it is. Because I think, like, especially the 9070, that's gonna get discounted. That's gonna be the same thing again. If they don't, that'd be a mistake. So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up stream though. It was fun going into this, but then it kind of got disappointing as it went. I'm excited for FSR 4, see how that goes, especially because, well, it's only going to be on the new cards. The problem is because it's only on the new cards, how many devs are going to want to support this? So that'll be weird too. We'll see if it comes to the older cards too. Yeah, but I want to check that out. Jesus, Adrian. Thanks, Adrian, for the dono. So it's good, but not great. Nothing in the presentation felt bad to me. I'm not amazed, but good is still good. It's currently better than NVIDIA is giving us, in my opinion. I mean, maybe, but like you got to be clued into this. Like, if something was amazing value, it would get people that aren't clued into this. Like, it would turn heads. But I don't think this is going to turn heads. So, all right. It's been a fun stream. I'm probably going to hit the gym, and then I'm going to go probably work on this video after. So, expect something later today. And also check out the 5070 Ti video I just uploaded pretty recently if you haven't already. It's pretty interesting. Go gym. Hopefully you guys have a good day. Good rest of your day, wherever you live. It was a very early announcement from AMD. Get that pumping. I'm doing legs today. No, I'm not doing legs. No, I'm doing pool. All right. I'll finish watching the 5070 Ti video. Yeah, enjoy it, man. All right. 07, guys. Peace. Expect something later. And I'll also see if I can... Oh, also heads up, because I don't have the GPU. I don't even know when I'm getting the GPUs. I'm probably not going to have a day one review. I still need to test older cards, too, to compare them against. So expect probably later coverage from me of the actual launch of these cards, which is on March 6th. The 5070 launches on March 5th. I don't have any of these cards, and I still have to test them, so I don't think this is going to happen. So We'll see. I'll probably be testing, going back, I'll probably test the 4070. I have the 3080 tested, 4080, 5070 Ti, 4070 Ti, 4070 Ti Super. I have all the high-end cards too. But I'll also probably test the 4070 Super. And what else? I have a 3070. So I'll probably test that. I need to give that back to my buddy. So 3070, 7800 XT, 7900 XTX, the 7900 XT. I'll be testing basically everything. Every card that you can think of, I'm going to try to test it. So we'll see. I'll probably cut down my test suite a little bit to get it done faster. Okay. I will see you guys. Y'all have a good one. And peace. Peace, peace, peace. Your pee-pee hurts. Cool. Bye.